Little gang of misfits and dope addicts are here.
Because on this day.
On this day. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to take the lead on this one because this was your.
Yeah, you came in screaming this
was
first
your-
thing this
yeah.
morning.
It is, in fact, Indigenous Peoples Day.
I can't spell indigenous.
I-N. D-I-G. Wait a minute.
That's why I have a hard time celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. I can't spell it.
That's the reason?
I can't spell
Because
it.
Columbus is easier to
Columbus I can spell.
So it's more and more cities across the country are ditching Columbus Day. As a matter of fact, Columbus, Ohio.
They're now
Just-
Indigenous Ohio?
Yeah, they're keeping the name Columbus, Ohio, but they ditched Columbus Day and have Indigenous Peoples Day because, as you probably know, Columbus didn't discover America. This is all a big PR push by Italians and Catholics over the decades, centuries probably. And Columbus was he went to the Bahamas and then enslaved the people there and cut off people's noses and
Indigenous.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Indigenous.
I'm wearing my Save Bears Ears t-shirt. If you'd like to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, there is a big Indigenous Peoples Feast today, this evening at the Utah Museum of Natural History. And they'll be serving all kinds of Indigenous people's foods. I've got the menu here. I'll put it in the news.
Original is easier to spell. What if it were to be
Original
called
people?
Original People?
Yeah, and it's not just Native Americans. I mean, Indigenous peoples, that song, Beds Are Burning from Australia, the Midnight Oil folks, that's, the Indigenous peoples of Australia. It's singing that country belongs to them. Let's give it back to them.
Let's give it back.
I read an anti-Indigenous peoples editorial today.
How could you be anti-Indigenous?
Oh, this guy
peoples?
from the Federalist Society, I think it was, wrote an
those
editorial.
guys, yeah.
Yeah, talking about, well, you know what the original people who lived in, Mexico did. They were slavers themselves, and the Aztecs and the Mayans were brutal people who warred with each other and enslaved each other and cut off heads, and, they were brutal and so forth and so on, and when the white people came, the Spanish conquerors came. He didn't use the word conquerors, but when they came, sure they did. They did some bad things, but they brought law and they brought civilization and they brought science and they brought
Syphilis?
Yeah, and they brought syphilis
Have
and they
some
brought
syphilis.
Yeah. So his argument was there were bad people already here.
So that just
Yeah. So it justifies us coming and taking their land from them, and not really. It doesn't.
No,
it does not. Indigenous people.
Well, we're sounding awfully liberal right out of the gate this morning.
I wore this Bears Ears shirt yesterday too, when I was
the pancake breakfast.
Yeah, I was making pancakes for Buddha, flipping pancakes for Buddha, and
how does Buddha take his pancakes?
Well, Buddha likes the full gluten pancakes, as it turns out.
Okay.
None of the gluten-free pancakes for him. Although he did prefer the vegetarian sausage. But it was a fun day. I'll talk about that later, maybe.
He sprayed some Febreze in that shirt, I hope.
I did
2 days in a row.
I took care of that. I made sure that it was clean.
Good.
He gave it the sniff test.
And then I wore it. Then I wore it later in the day at the grow. But everywhere I went, somebody would comment on the shirt, and it was always positive.
Really?
Yeah. Nice shirt. Good shirt. Hey, way to go. Grocery store everywhere. But I wore this shirt a couple of years ago in Moab.
You didn't get that response?
I was in Moab, and I was on a hike, and some guy said, "What are you wearing that shirt for?" I said, I believe...
I would like to protect Bears Ears.
Well, why? I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Blanding." Okay, well, there you go.
You're one of those Salt Lake liberals. Come down here, tell us how to live.
Yeah. All right, well, we ought to officially begin the program, I guess. The number for check-ins, if you'd like to do that, is 877-602-9696. Do we have a prize for checking?
No, you get to be on the radio. That's your prize.
So that's how we just sort of, it's just kind of a touchstone. We know you're out there. We know you're eager for another week of this foolishness that we call Radio from Hell. So 877-602-9696. You call, and in 3 words or less, describe your personality. 877-602-9696. In 3 words or less, how would you describe your own personality? Okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
We got a lot of show to get to today, so let's get going. Had a hard time getting up this morning.
Why?
Like sleeping with the window open, you know.
Oh, I love that.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And of course the Brooklinen sheets.
They're buttery smooth. I
Buttery
hear.
smooth. Slide right in there. They are based in Brooklyn, brooklinen.com. They're not your typical New Yorkers. They live in the city that never sleeps, yet they're committed to bring you the best sleep ever. See what they did there? It's a married couple that owned it. It's Vicky and Rich owned Brooklinen, and their mission, they wanted to bring 5-star hotel quality sheets to everyday life, because luxury sheets are sometimes marked up as much as 300%. And so they found a manufacturer. They took care of the whole thing. It's all right there. It's real easy to do online. My Brooklinen sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets I've slept on. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. You'll get $20 off and free shipping when you use the promo code Jackson at brooklinen.com. They are so sure you're going to love your new sheets that they offer a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use the promo code Jackson at brooklinen.com. So that's BROOKLINEN.com. And the promo code Jackson, JACKSON. These really are the best sheets ever.
Radio from Hell has a new podcast.
Why do you discount bird flu?
Because that sounds too nice. It's going to be...
How about avian flu? You feel better about avian flu?
That's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it sounds... I don't know.
Swine flu. You think swine flu?
The Hong Kong flu. The Asian flu. What was the one that there was the big epidemic?
The Spanish flu.
Was it the one? Was that the one that killed a lot of people in the early part of the century? I mean, really, in America, it killed hundreds and hundreds of people. That sounds meaner. Spanish flu.
Don't you laugh at the? You're gonna remember we have a storage room in our house. It's full of toilet paper, just in case.
Just in
Because it
case.
causes such
The bird-
horrible diarrhea.
You're
That's
gonna
why.
run out of stuff, and you're gonna come knocking on my
I
door.
need toilet paper.
Is that the first thing you grab when you
Yeah.
when you loot the store?
When you have
When you loot the store,
not
you run to the
bottled
toilet
water,
paper.
not medicine.
Yeah,
Because you don't think about toilet
Help! Yeah.
I've got coffee filters. I don't
Yeah.
need.
paper. I've got coffee filter.
Yeah, you don't need toilet paper if you've got plenty of coffee filters.
That'll stop up your pipes. Don't put coffee filters.
Well, I'm
in
not
there.
flushing them.
Well, I think isn't all won't the sewage plants shut down
Yeah.
because
Why would plumbing stop?
well
It's
because
not
there won't be
flush.
anybody to operate the plumbing the sewage
I mean,
plants
for it'll work for a time.
for a time, but pretty soon a post-apocalyptic world, if plumbing goes too,
I don't know, when the power's out, my toilet works.
I don't know. You're
It's not an electric toilet.
It will work for a while. I took a class on surviving the
Did they
zombie
talk about
apocalypse. They
toilets?
talked about this.
What did they say?
Your toilets will be okay for a while, but then the sewage treatment plant stops treating sewage because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It'll back up.
Then it'll back up,
Yeah.
and it'll be eventually. You'll be able to go for a while.
things get ugly. You watch The Walking Dead.
That's why we're
They
gonna
never
have,
really
that's-
address where they go to the bathroom.
They
Oh,
don't.
Do you know what they don't address? Periods.
Oh.
How
No,
many-
they have
have they
because
addressed
when they've been
periods?
stealing when they were stealing stuff from a store
Did they?
when they were
say give-
looting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm good because I had the hysterectomy, so that is one thing I don't have to
So you're-
worry
Is
about.
that why you had
So
it?
you're
Yes.
ahead. You're
My
ahead.
doctor said you don't need this. I'm like, no, in the apocalypse, I don't want to deal with having a period, so take it out.
Well, this
Now I'm unclear as to what's happened here.
We had a computer
Well,
explode.
we have. Let's officially begin the program, and then we'll address this.
Brought to you by Downtown Dino Round, happening now through October 14th. Enjoy amazing deals at local restaurants. Choose from $5 or $10 two-item lunches, $15, $25, or $35 three-course dinners. For a list of participating restaurants, visit dinearound.com.
The moon is essentially a new moon. It's 0.7% of full. It will be a new moon. That means it'll just be totally gone today at 9:46 p.m. And then it'll start working its way back toward full, and it'll be in full moon again on October 24th. The moon will rise today at 6:47 a.m., but you ain't going to see it. There'll be nothing there to see. Maybe. There's nothing there. Today, by the way, being Monday, it's the 8th day of October in the year of our Lord 2018, and this is North America's most nefarious radio broadcast. It's the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio. We are the cucks of communication. We are indigenous radio broadcasters here on this Indigenous Peoples Day. Kerry Jackson right over there. I'm Bill Allred. That's the indigenous Gina Barberi. The senior executive producer of the Radio from Hell show is Richard Stedman, but he ain't here. So Dylan Allred, no relation, is filling in for Richard Stedman as kind of the producer of the show. And then Nick is your buddy, Nick is your pal, is helping out with the show as well. And Autumn is here as well doing yeoman service. Everybody's working hard to make sure that this laugh machine gets going.
So we're going to do check-ins here.
Hopefully.
But because of the exploded computer, we might just have you text in your check-in.
And we do have a couple of people on the line, I think.
Yeah.
And that's brought to you by when life feels like it's crashing down on you from above. Lifetime Roofing is here to offer you peace of mind. In that home of yours, you and your family have your own personal fortress of reassurance. Roofs at Lifetime Roofing are simply better than everyone else's, period.
So what happened was a computer blew up, and that makes it impossible for us to take any more calls than Sam and Max.
Yeah, it's part of our phone
Yeah.
system, that computer. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if they're even still here.
Well, let's see.
I don't know. Let's find out. Sam?
Sam, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, so Sam has managed to check in, and he'll probably, and then Max will be the last person we'll be able to get. Sam, 3 words or less, can you describe your personality?
Jason Voorhees.
Well, that's scary.
Well, that's a good thing for Halloween.
So you don't say much.
Nope.
Exactly.
Ask Bill. He's seen me this weekend.
Oh, were you at Fear Factory?
Yeah, I was in the barrels chasing you around.
Yeah, I went to Fear Factory this weekend. I haven't been to my son works at Fear Factory, Little Bill.
Yeah, I know Little Bill.
Yeah, I would imagine you do. And I hadn't.
I'm Dirt Digger.
You're Dirt Digger. That's what you go by? Sure.
No, that's who you know me by when I meet you in person.
Oh, I see. Oh, of course, Mr. Dirt Digger, I call you. Yeah.
So you haven't been to see Little Bill?
I haven't.
You know, that's like going to your kids' soccer games, Bill. You should really go to your kids' haunted house.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every weekend.
You should go to his job.
I know.
Go to his job every day
I know.
be with them.
Mhm,
Every
I know.
parent should do that.
I know. You know, so my son, Little Bill, it's a very good haunted house, Fear Factory. And I'm not a fan of haunted houses. I don't care for them. But I bucked up and I went, and it was very good. And Sam, you did Dirt Digger. You did a great job.
Yeah, that's what Little Bill said.
Okay, good.
All right.
He
See
got
ya.
Little Bill's approval.
Yeah, well, he's a honcho around there.
All right. We'll see you, Sam. Let's go to Max.
Max, hi. Max?
Born Big Happy. Hi.
Born Big
Hi.
Happy?
Born Big Happy.
Born Big Happy.
Does that mean you're really happy, or does that mean you're a large person that's happy?
I'd like to think that it means both.
Are you a large person?
Well, if I was born happy, it's sort of hard for me to not be happy. I don't know.
Max?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't know. I have the tendency to feel kind of broken, but
Oh,
like,
Max.
if I remember that I was born happy,
There
I don't
we
know.
go.
Max,
I can remember that I know how to do it.
Sure,
Max, were you?
Max.
It seems to me that perhaps you were born confused.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was born quite happy about it.
Well, good.
And so I feel like if I keep myself constantly amused about it, maybe I'll be a little bit more.
You're trying to have a good
Like
attitude.
by doing.
It sounds to me like you've worked it out with yourself. Good job, Max.
Oh yeah.
Good
and
job.
with other people.
All right.
All right.
All right. See ya.
This is sort of my step towards that.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you. Okay. Well,
Line 6 is ringing. Maybe you should.
Yeah,
answer
I
it.
would
Just
that's
take
me.
It? Well, they can't
that's
answer
you?
it. And
yeah, that's me. I was just
Oh.
seeing if
So we can see it.
if it was ringing through or if what the deal was. So
But they can't
thought
see
I'd
it.
test it.
they can't answer it and tell us who it is. That's
Oh, I
what
see.
they can't do.
We can't type the names into you, so you can take the calls. People just need to know they need to listen on their phones and not the radio, or it'll be very confusing for everybody.
And not swear.
Okay.
Oh, I
and
see.
not
Yeah, this
swear.
could be-
Yeah. So we won't do that.
Yeah, we won't. Thank you.
All right.
Let's see. Tyler the Trash Man checking in. Cynical optimist.
Well, what? How can?
I hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big-hearted, sarcastic. Carrie the coordinator, always tired.
That's like Post Malone.
But that's not a personality. That's a physical condition.
Parade Cody, talkative yet shy.
Huh.
Your best friend. Low-key, high-strung.
And these are.
I don't know
I'm a
how you-
little of both.
Catherine from Lehigh, serious yet silly.
Yeah, people are contradictions.
Nerdy, funny, spontaneous, Stray J. Merc checking in, personality type A.
Okay.
A pistachio.
I am a pistachio.
I am a pistachio.
What does that mean?
Don't
Nutty.
know.
Oh,
Could be. Bus driver Allison, fun but quiet.
I'm really fun.
Nobody knows it.
I'm so much fun.
I'm so quiet.
I'm just over here having fun.
I'll take your word for it.
Let's see if the traffic is fun this morning. So far, so fun.
So far, so fun.
Green cameras as far as the UDOT Commuter Link website is concerned. If you see something, please text it to us, 33986. Get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with Power Cashback Credit Card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org.
All right. We got news coming up. Stand by for that. These two went to their movie. We got to talk about that. Oh, Amy Donaldson with sports before that.
What do you mean their movie? It's A Star is Born, Carrie.
It's your movie.
It's A Star is Born.
It was the date we didn't have.
We had a separate date. So
It's almost like online or something. All right. So all that and more on the way.
So if you want to buy a home and you're not sure you can afford it, let Ran Life help you. They can do what's called the 10-minute pre-qualification. I wonder if I can qualify. Well, call Ran Life at 801-478-4500.
That doesn't obligate you to anything.
No, within 10 minutes, they'll be able to tell you whether you can qualify for a loan for a home, and they can probably even tell you what your monthly payments would be. With everything that's going on in the country right now, home values and rates and the economy going up, you're probably curious to know what you can qualify, what size of a home, how much money you could get. So call them, 801-478-4500. Ran Life, the home of the 10-minute pre-qualification. You can call them right now. 10 minutes, they'll tell you what your payments would be and the whole deal. They're very good people there, and they're smart at Ran Life.
And thorough.
Yep, 478-4500. That's 801-478-4500 or online, ranlife.com.
John Smith hosts a 1-hour nonstop music wingding.
Ask a bullfighter.
You could still get in a phone question if you want, 801-359-9696 or 877-602-9696. But we have a lot of text questions. How about your health insurance, Ammon? They must be some. There must be some restrictions, or you have to have.
You must be risky.
You have to have
maybe.
special health insurance, or what?
I don't. It probably would be a good idea if you were going to do it.
Well, you've had
Dang,
injuries.
that's a good idea.
Just thinking about this, are you? All right.
Hey,
Wait a minute.
why didn't I think of that? So what do you? I mean, has your health insurance covered you so far?
Yeah, on the cases where I've needed to go, a lot of the injuries are, you're just going to be sore. You can't really do much for it.
Cinch you up. We just cinch you up on the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Until that big brain injury comes around, then you're going to wish you had it. Let's see. Text question. Not me, of course. I want to ride a bull once before I die. How would I go about doing this?
Good Well, that's
his bucket
it's-
list, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably easier than a lot of people think.
Make it the last item on your bucket list.
And
whoever you are.
finally,
Actually, the Broken Heart Rodeo Company has practice where they buck out some of their younger animals just to see how well they'll perform. I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but usually it's every Wednesday night in Ogden, at the Golden Spike Arena.
you just show up and
Yeah, like there's kids from high school that come and get on, or guys from college that just haven't been riding for a while that want to get back in.
You have to pay a little fee to do it?
Yeah, I think it's like $20, and usually there's enough guys there that have the equipment that if somebody, I've been there before when people have shown up that have never been on an animal before.
I don't have
and
my own rigging.
Yeah, they help them do it. So
Listen to you.
that would be a good. And I know on the website, on the Golden Spike Arena website, there's a calendar, and it'll list on the days that they have practice.
All right. Let's see. How many bones have you broken? Pretty standard question.
Probably 5.
5. What was the most painful one? No, no pelvis, I hope.
No, my pelvis is functioning great.
That's good to hear.
It's good news for your fiance there too.
My worst injury is probably my ankle when I broke it and
All right.
dislocated it.
Have you ever seen a rider or bullfighter lose their life?
I have not.
That has not happened. Okay.
Not where I've been. Thank goodness.
Let's see.
Do you have to be a big guy to be a bullfighter?
Yeah, I would think because you're over 6 feet. I would think you'd want to be a little guy, like a smaller target.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm big or not, but this is my size, and the guy I work with is the guy that I fight bulls with. He's about my same size, and I kind of think of it as there's more cushion for the pushing, or I can take more of a hit. And so maybe if I was a little smaller, maybe if I was smaller, I'd break more bones because I got some padding. I don't know, but
And let's see. Growing up in Franklin, Idaho, where there was nothing to do, have you ever gone cow tipping?
No, I actually we tried one time to see how close we could get, but they weren't really sleeping. So.
Well, you got to make sure.
Isn't that just a myth?
I kind of think it is.
You can't push a cow over when they're asleep.
Gina,
I'm going to look it up.
That's bull.
Look it up.
That's bull is what that is.
Jackson, Bill Allred, Gina Barberi. Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, 6:34. We got sports with Amy Donaldson coming up. Stand by for that. First, big boy news and a Pinuendo brought to you by...
PRA Health Sciences is currently seeking healthy, non-smoking men and women ages 18 to 55 for a clinical research study, prastudies.com.
I got bad news, you guys.
What?
Drake has canceled his Salt Lake City concert again.
Oh, again?
This is the second time in 4 months.
Is he sick?
I'm thinking he might have heard about I don't know.
The scooters in downtown Salt Lake? He's scared about being run over by a scooter. That's what it is.
Maybe it's that. I don't know. Maybe he's heard about the whole medical marijuana thing. I'm not sure.
What does he have against us?
I don't know. Fans were disappointed Saturday to learn that the Drake had canceled his concert at Vivint Smart Home Arena.
It went like this.
For the second time in 4 months.
I thought we canceled that. Well, we did, but we had to reschedule. Yeah, like I told you before, I'm not going there.
Drake.
It was like that.
Drake's Aubrey and the Three Migos tour Was originally scheduled for July 26th, was postponed. The show was rescheduled for October 10th, but then it was canceled for unknown reasons. Ticketmaster stated on its website the ticket holders would be now refunded at point of purchase, which kind of means he's never coming. Never, ever. There is some thought that it might have something to do with our show, but I don't know. 20 people killed after a limousine failed to stop at an intersection in Schoharie, New York on Saturday. 17 friends had all piled into a white stretch limo for what was supposed to have been a birthday celebration at an upstate New York brewery. They never reached their destination. The massive vehicle speeding downhill on Saturday approached the intersection of two highways that residents have long said was notoriously dangerous. And in just a few seconds of terror, their worst fears were realized. The limousine lost control, careened through the intersection, and hit an empty car. The crash killed all 18 occupants of the limousine, so 17 people and the driver.
Wow.
As well as 2 pedestrians, so 20 people in all. An accident that left deep tire tracks in the ground and the small town about 40 miles west of Albany reeling. People who were there said, we won't even describe it to you. We won't describe the scene to you.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Federal investigators were there scouring the scene, looking for clues as to the cause, and there were, autopsies, toxicology on the driver, everything. People are just, trying to put it all together to see how this possibly could have happened. 20 fatalities.
Just amazing.
Well, by now you probably know that Christopher Columbus did not discover America.
What?
He wasn't even the first European to do it. Somehow the 15th century Italian explorer still got his own national holiday.
Well, Italians have big personalities.
But more cities and states are scrapping Columbus Day to honor the people who were here first and who suffered greatly after Columbus's arrival. Just this year, at least a dozen U.S. cities, including San Francisco and Cincinnati, and now Columbus, Ohio, decided to stop observing Columbus Day and will instead celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Salt Lake last year declared that they would no longer do Columbus Day, but would do Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day is a relic of an outdated and oversimplified version of history, the mayor of Somerville, Massachusetts, wrote. This issue is a lot like the Confederate flag for Southerners. As an Italian American, it feels good that there is an official holiday that is nominally about us. We're proud of our heritage, and yet the specifics of this holiday run so deep into human suffering, we need to shift our pride elsewhere, said the Italian American mayor.
May I give Italians something to be proud of? If we need to switch.
Yes,
meatballs.
Yes, Gina Barberi.
America. The United States of America.
Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci, a map maker, a cartographer.
Oh, that's boring.
Put his name,
Yeah, he
said, I'm going to name that.
He drew a picture and then he put his name on it.
And he put his name on it. So this country is named after an Italian.
What did Columbus really do? He wasn't the first to discover the New World.
Nope.
Leif Erikson.
Probably Leif Erikson was the first. The Viking. Columbus went to the Bahamas and then enslaved the people there.
And you could say it didn't need discovering because the indigenous people were here.
Yeah, well, we're here. Yes, but we live here. Hey, hi. Hello. Yeah, but we didn't need discovering. We're here.
We've been here.
Here in Utah, there is a celebration at the Utah History Museum. They're having an Indigenous Peoples dinner. You can buy a ticket for that. I don't know how much it is. It's 6:30 tonight. And here, you want to hear the menu?
Sure.
Kusha bisque. This is a soup made of sprouted amaranth, which is a seed, saguaro seed, prickly pear, and chiltepin vinaigrette, smoked river trout, grilled cactus, acorn spoon bread. Also, there will be wild foraged beverages, whatever that means. You can make a reservation. Just go to the Utah History Museum's website. You can make a reservation. They're doing they're a staple of the area down in the Four Corners area. They call them Four Corners potatoes, and they used to eat them all the time. They're these little tiny things that look they call them potatoes, but they're apparently very high in protein, and they used to eat them a lot down on the reservation. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will move to 2-hour meetings beginning in January 2019. That was big news for the Latter-day Saints at conference. I guess they've been having 3-hour meetings on Sundays. I mean, it used to be that they were all day.
Yeah.
And then you'd go back in the evening to sacrament meeting.
But now we have TV.
They keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking it.
Well, I remember it was you would go for sacrament meeting. This is when I was a kid, so the sacrament meeting, and then there was, you'd go to your respective demographics class or whatever it is,
to primary.
Yeah, or to young men's or whatever it was.
The Gleaners.
Yeah. And it usually wound up being about 3 hours.
Yeah. So that was big news. Also, big news was that they're going to build 12 new temples around the world. Everybody was excited about that. And this one, I don't know what this is all about. President Russell M. Nelson invited women church members to participate in a 10-day fast from social media during the women's session. Nelson stated the following. First, I invite you to participate in a 10-day fast from social media and from any other media that bring negative and impure thoughts to your mind. Pray to know which influences to remove during your fast. The effect of your 10-day fast may surprise you. What do you notice after taking a break from perspectives of the world that have been wounding your spirit? Is there a change in where you want to spend your time and energy?
But
Nelson advised a similar 7-day fast from social media to LDS youth at a devotional in June. Doesn't say anything about men doing it, youth and women. Don't know. Don't know what that's all about.
See, now when I read that headline, I didn't click on the story. I just saw it, on my Twitter feed. And I thought that, that's obviously one of those, Mormon parody news sites. No. It's a joke. He couldn't possibly mean that.
So in this story, it doesn't say.
Now they've talked about before a social media fast, and they talked about it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it curious that this is.
Don't know. 2 firearms. By the way, is Amy going to come and do sports?
She's supposed to. I think someone went down to get her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 2 firearms were recovered from a creek behind an elementary school in Midvale on Friday and Saturday. Sergeant Melody Gray with the Unified Police Department said the rifles were found in a creek behind Mid-Valley Elementary School. She said that that people dump objects into the creek quite often. The firearms were recovered. It was a shotgun and a rifle. Somebody threw them in the creek.
Threw them in the creek.
Fox 13 got 2 pictures from a viewer who said their children had found one of the firearms, and then the next day the viewer found the other one. Weird.
That is.
I don't know if they're. You would be suspicious. You would be suspicious that they'd been used in some sort of a crime. Scores of demonstrators were arrested for breaking through police barricades surrounding the U.S. Capitol on Saturday before the Senate voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, waving banners and chanting "November is coming" and "We believe survivors." The protesters ran up the steps of the main rotunda of the Russell Senate building, and then refused to budge.
They were getting paid overtime.
Soros pumped a lot of money into hiring a bunch of protesters, I'm sure. Waving banners and chanting, "November is coming, we believe survivors." Onlookers also shouted, "Arrest sexual predators, not protesters," and "Shame, shame, shame," as Capitol police officers cuffed the protesters one by one. About 150 were lined up on the street with their hands bound behind their backs with plastic ties. Donald Trump credits himself with,
of course,
with saving Kavanaugh's nomination.
I did that.
Claiming that after he mocked Christine Blasey Ford at a campaign rally, it started to sail through. well, there were a lot of things happening that weren't correct. They weren't true. There were a lot of things that were left unsaid, Trump said late Saturday during an interview on Fox News on the Justice with Janine show. And I thought, well, I had to even the playing field. It was it was very unfair to the judge, and now I can very nicely say, Justice Kavanaugh, it was a very unfair situation. Once I did that, it started to sail through.
Because that's what caused it to sail through.
I think that putting a wife to work is a very dangerous thing. When I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof.
By the way, scientists are now saying by 2030, we, as a collective 7 billion human beings, will know our fate, or at the very least, the fate. Would you quit squawking like an old lady? Why are you doing that?
I don't need to know that.
Well, here, would somebody let's get a big box of sand, and Gina can put her head in it when she doesn't want to hear these things. The fate of the most vulnerable among us, a landmark report released on Sunday, sets the clock ticking for humanity and its guests to keep global warming to with 1.5 degrees Celsius of pre-industrial levels. The report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change outlines what a world warmed by just 1.5 degrees Celsius would look like compared. What they're saying is we've got 10 years.
To get it together.
Yeah, and if we don't, first of all, the poorest among us will suffer the most. Our world has already been warmed about 1 degree. Another half a degree, it's going to be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
We got 10 years to get it together, folks.
Can I come out of the sand yet?
No, we'd just prefer you stay in there. Right. Every time I bring up something that you don't want to hear,
yep,
it's irritating, Gina.
Sorry. Too bad.
Does it help that you do that?
Does it help that you bring this up? No.
Okay, nobody should talk about this stuff, and it'll just go away.
No, there's just too much bad. I just want some good news.
So let's not talk about it.
You know, the Utes won over the weekend.
We'll get to sports coming up.
Oh, one other quick story. Vincent Rocco Vargas, a veteran, a business owner, and now a TV star. Vargas is a star of the new series Mayans MC, and apparently he lives in Utah. He is, and that show's doing very well. So just that. Okay.
All right. Weather, traffic.
So we'll have a slight chance of showers this morning, but then that should be it for the day. It's pretty cool, though, 57 for a high. Traffic is pretty good so far. I've got green cameras all up and down the Wasatch Front, and nobody has sent anything in via text. But if you do see something, share it with the class, 33986.
Sports sponsored?
X96 welcomes Warren Miller to Abravanel Hall October 13th and 14th with more showings in Orem, Park City, and Ogden. More information at warrenmiller.com.
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
Here she is with an uplifting and positive sports report. Amy Donaldson, who is a sports reporter and columnist for the Deseret News. You can read all of her uplifting sports reporting and uplifting columns, which never mention anything negative, at DeseretNews.com.
Now, let me just say that I'm glad everyone doesn't feel like Gina, or I'd be out of a job. As would all of us, right? So let's see. We got college football, as Gina mentioned. Utah upsets number 14 Stanford 40-21.
They found their offense.
They did, and they took it with them into a game. Yes, so it was highlighted by a 100-yard touchdown interception that Jalen Johnson ran back for a touchdown. So a couple touchdowns by Zach Moss and Tyler Huntley had a great throwing TD. They host Arizona on Friday at 8 p.m. That was their first conference win. So, meanwhile, down in Provo. If you're a BYU fan, it was a very bad weekend. If you're an Aggie fan, it was fantastic. Utah State beat BYU 45-20 in Provo to keep the wagon wheel, which is the world's largest trophy.
It is.
It is a literal wagon wheel.
Really?
In fact, one of the kids said it was a waste of gas to bring this thing down here to Provo. Not so fun for BYU fans. They host Hawaii on Saturday at 8:15. On the bright side, and I put video of this on x96.com.
Okay.
Cosmo keeps his head this weekend, and he does another fantastic dance with the Cougarettes. So.
He did a flip the week before, and the head fell off.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's what she's
okay.
talking about.
I think we had video of that too.
Yeah,
so
we did.
Whenever I'm on, I like the funny videos. See, that balances, Gina.
Thank you.
It balances the bad news. So, yeah, your team stinks, but your mascot can dance.
Is Utah State the best team in the state?
I believe so, and I think people thought that early, but they have a freshman quarterback, so that Jordan Love. So they were kind of trying to figure out how he would actually perform. I mean, he looked great in the preseason, but nothing tests you like a game. So, yeah, I would say that now. That's pretty. We'll see for sure when BYU and Utah play. So that will be because Utah and Utah State do not play. Weber State, they lost to Northern Arizona 28-24. They have Eastern Washington coming up this Saturday at 4. Snow College is now 4-1 with a 63-21 win over Mesa Community College. There were some other Utah wins and losses. Utah volleyball, they lost a 5-set match to Cal. Utah soccer upset number 7 Washington State 1-0 in overtime. Both those games yesterday. And then BYU volleyball, they stay number 1 in the country with a victory over San Diego State. And let's see, we had RSL. They lost to Portland 4-1. They travel to New England on Thursday, and then they host Portland at home on the 21st. That will be their last regular season game.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of points, and it puts their playoff position in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So they're in the last final spot.
They could still get it, but
they gotta play great, and maybe LA has to play crummy. LA's just right behind them. I think they're a point behind them.
Okay.
So. But they signed a local kid, Cache Valley resident, a kid who played up at Mountain Crest High School. He went down to the RSL Academy for a couple years, and when they moved the academy here in I think it was spring, he moved with them, and they just signed him to a contract. So he'll be playing.
Oh, cool.
For and that's on your website as well. Julian Vasquez is his name. 17 years old, and he'll be playing for RSL in the 2019 season.
Good for him.
Yeah. And kind of a homegrown guy through the academy and
great.
the Utah prep system.
You'll start to see more of that, I think, with the academy.
Especially with soccer. Yeah. And that's what the rest of the world does. I mean, it is sad, though, that they're trying to identify, can you play professional soccer in like 3rd grade? So it is an interesting conversation in sport, I think. But congratulations to him. And he has a brother who actually is playing for the new high school up in Cache Valley, Skyridge High School. So UFC 229 ended with a big giant fight.
I was going to ask you about that. Where was the fight? Was it in the stands?
It was after. No, it was like sort of both. One guy climbed over the octagon and sucker punched Conor McGregor. There was a guy taunting the guy who won, and I cannot say it, Khaibab Nurmagomedov.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
Good try.
Yeah. So he submitted McGregor, so he won.
All right.
And so one of McGregor's guys was taunting him, and then it's a little bit mixed, but McGregor's been paid his $3 million. Khaibab, is how we're going to refer to him by his first name. He has not been paid his $2 million purse. They're holding it.
But he won.
3 people were arrested, all from his crew. Looking over the video, they blame him. But they're not. The announcer is saying that McGregor's guys are taunting the winner. So that's the thing I hate about MMA is, you can't have a viable, organization or a league or whatever you want to call it, a fight scene, without these up-and-coming challengers. But my gosh, the verbal abuse that they take, and I don't know how if that's part of the show, then
that's what people would tell you is that's what makes it more exciting than boxing,
And McGregor refused to press charges, so all 3 people who were arrested will not be charged with a crime. But Khaibab could be fined. That's sort of what holding back the purse indicates. And, of course, Dana White just walked away with his check and said, sorry for you guys.
Thanks for the good show.
Yeah, thanks for making everybody love our sport. The Real Monarchs, they beat the OKC Energy 2-1. They finished the regular season hosting Fresno on Saturday at 8 p.m. They're fourth in Group B, just 1 point ahead of Reno. 1868, my new favorite sports team name. Utah. Oh, I already told you about the Utah women's soccer. So you can read my column. It's actually about a movie that's here tonight. It's at like 10 theaters. It's called The Dawn Wall. I think we've talked about it before.
The what?
The Dawn Wall.
D-O-N?
No, D-A-W-N. The Dawn Wall. That's part of Yosemite's El Capitan.
Mm-hmm.
Huge 3,000-foot climbing feature in Yosemite Park. There were two guys in 2015 who climbed,
right.
the Dawn Wall, which had at the time had never been climbed. Since then, another guy has climbed it solo. But it focuses on Tommy Caldwell, and I know you guys would recognize him if you saw him or heard from him because he's crossed over a little bit into mainstream stuff. But he was actually kidnapped, and I didn't know this until I saw the promo stuff for the movie. He was actually kidnapped in Kyrgyzstan in 2000 with three other climbers.
Was he climbing something he shouldn't have been climbing?
No, it was a fight between the rebels and the Kyrgyz government, and they took him hostage, and they almost starved and froze to death before they decide that they need to kill or be killed to get away.
Really?
And,
Wow.
Yeah, and that is the reason that he decided he was actually just climbing in El Cap because it brought him some solace, and he decided to climb that. He said, I had a whole new level of suffering after that. So
you can see the movie tonight?
See the movie tonight. There's like 10 theaters. It's listed on x96.com.
All right.
And also I tweeted it out at AD on Sports.
Thank you very much.
And read about it in the Deseret News, deseretnews.com. All right.
Thank you.
Amy Donaldson.
All right. Traffic?
Yeah, if we had any. Oh, wait, here's somebody. Thank you, friend of the program. Traffic getting backed up 114th at I-15. Thank you, friend of the program, for sending that in. 33986. Celebrate autumn at Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest. Escape for the whole weekend with Oktoberfest getaway package, including lodging, daily breakfast, all-day activity pass, $116 per person per night. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
All right. We got a Star is Born review coming up from the two of you. And I'll review Venom later.
Okay.
But also round one of your boner voting coming up. Stand by.
X96 invites you to immerse yourself in FearCon, October 12th and 13th.
Somebody sent a picture, tweeted a picture of, I was talking earlier about my strange gum obsession when I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked to get under the tables at restaurants, and I would take gum from under the table, already chewed gum, and I would chew it. And I also liked the way the gum looked underneath the table, the restaurant table. It was pretty. It was kind of like a abstract art. And somebody sent a picture, Kara Jane Prower sent this picture of this gum wall.
I've seen the gum wall.
Well, and I was going to say, why didn't you bring this up? Because I remember you talking about this. It's in Portland.
Portland. Like a whole alleyway that's just covered in gum.
Yeah.
It just I don't know how it started.
Didn't occur to you to bring that up when we were talking about it before.
No, I forgot about it until she.
Is this the one? Is this it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not. It is like an entire alleyway. It's cool looking.
Yeah.
You would love it. You should make a pilgrimage.
So this shows you why I thought that looked so cool when I was a kid.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
We get a picture frame. No picture. And we set it up somewhere, and every morning you put your gum there.
Well, it's just the same kind of gum all the time.
Well, then there's the challenge. You'll have to switch up gums.
I'm sorry, it's Seattle. It's not
Seattle.
Seattle?
Seattle.
Okay. Let's maybe we should have a gum. I think this is a good idea. Let's have a gum picture frame in here and invite guests when they come here if they're chewing gum, or let's just say anytime Richie invites a guest to come to the studio, say, and we'd like you to be chewing gum to add to our gum frame.
Yeah.
And we'll make a piece of gum art.
Yeah, but then are you going to be tempted to?
No, I'm over that. I'm over that obsession where
He won't try to pull the gum off and eat it. No.
But I think it'd be nice to have a piece of gum art.
What color of gum is this? Not even aware. It's blue. Okay, so my contributions would be blue.
Well, does it stay blue after you're done chewing it?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of gum is it?
Orbit. You like the Orbit?
That 5 gum?
Oh, 5.
Yeah. No, I only bought Orbit because it was at Costco.
Yeah, that's
why. And now they carry the 5 gum.
I chew the Orbit that I get it at Costco.
And this is cobalt flavored. I have no idea what that is.
What does a cobalt taste like?
Minty.
See, there's the gum I was chewing.
That's
earlier.
kind of green, but
pale,
not really.
pale green.
Yeah.
Pale green. Smells so good.
All right, there you go.
Gum fetishist.
So yeah, is there some? Well, you're kind of handy, Carrie. Maybe you could make the frame.
I'm busy.
Carrie's redoing his house.
I'm busy with the basement thing.
So that means you might bump into Carrie, Bill, or Gina at the grocery store. So if that happens, hey, ask for a selfie with them. Say cheese, Bill. Bill, say cheese. Bill, 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 say cheese.
Don't you know who I am?
All right, 7:04.
But is that supposed to indicate that I slug somebody? Is that the sound?
Yeah.
Let's get that off.
You don't want that one in
No,
here?
that's bull.
Okay.
That's.
Bill's perfectly willing to take his picture with you.
Can we just delete that? Is that possible?
It's on a rotator is the problem.
That's ridiculous.
So I can't delete it.
We'll get rid of it.
That's stupid.
We have a meeting today. Let's bring it up in the meeting.
Make a note.
And by the way, the Let's Go Eat show, it, as Gina likes to say, it dropped yesterday, and it's available now. Charlie Halford, the actor friend of the program, who was on Constantine and Lucifer and is in the movie Bad Times at the El Royale, which hasn't opened yet. But
this week. Opens this week, yes, on Friday.
It's an interesting conversation with Charlie Halford.
You know what movie opened last week?
What, Gina?
A Star is Born. So
I'm not familiar with that.
A couple months ago, we were at a mixer at Mountain West Hard Cider.
Mm-hmm.
We met a friend of the program, Trey, who is the biggest Lady Gaga fan I've ever met.
He is. He's probably 6'4".
He's the biggest little monster I've ever seen.
He's huge.
And he came up and he said, "Are you excited about Lady Gaga being in A Star is Born?" And Bill's like, "Yeah, not so much." And I said, "I'm really excited." And I said, "Bill, I bet if you go see this," and that was before any of the hype of it happened, I bet you like this movie.
I mean, I said, I like Lady Gaga, so maybe I'll go see it, but I'm not crazy about Bradley Whitford. No, Bradley Cooper.
So we supposedly made a plan to go together, which didn't work out, but I made Bill promise he would go see it this past weekend, and I would go see it so we could talk about it.
All right.
So you went and saw it on Saturday?
I did. First show on Saturday, 11:50, I think. Was not crowded. Very, very sparsely attended at 11:50 on Saturday. And so a lot of previews and a 2 hour and 17 running time movie.
Wow.
It's too long.
No, it's not.
It is too long.
If it's good, it's not too long. I didn't feel that at all.
It's good.
I wanted one more Lady Gaga performance at the end. I'm like, oh.
It's good, but it's too long. Now, just I liked it, which doesn't mean I can't criticize it. You want me to tell you what I liked about it before I tell you what I didn't like about it? First of all, Lady Gaga. Good Lord, she's good. Her acting is really good, and her singing is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Goosebumps. You got goosebumps,
I cried.
didn't you?
I teared up on a couple of songs. Her acting is exceptionally good.
Do you agree with critics that say that she is going to be talked about come Oscar season?
Of course.
You think?
And Bradley Cooper might as well. He's also very good.
Rocket Raccoon.
His acting is really good. His singing is good enough. Certainly, I wouldn't say he's brilliant or anything like that, but is good enough. He's believable as a rock star who's kind of on the downswing. The supporting cast is excellent. I didn't realize that was Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, you didn't?
As her dad. I didn't realize
But it makes sense when you hear it. Andrew Dice Clay is Lady Gaga's dad.
And he's great. The supporting the supporting cast is great. So here's what I didn't like about it. No, see, now the scenes, like the scene in the parking lot when they first meet and get together, was great.
Yeah.
They were just great together.
Yeah.
They worked well together. It was touching and well done and romantic and all of that. Those scenes were really good. I didn't need the psychological scenes that explained why Jackson Maine was the way he is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why he's screwed up.
You didn't need the backstory?
No, I don't need the Sam Elliott stuff. I didn't realize in the first scene where Sam Elliott comes in, I didn't realize that was his brother.
Well, they don't want you to know that right away.
I don't need all of that crap. I don't need the Sam Elliott stuff.
You just want him to be a drunk for no reason?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Or they can, in passing, say, I had a terrible childhood. That's it. You don't need all of that. You don't need the psychological explanations. Cut that stuff out.
It makes him a little more, a deeper, more fully realized character than he's just a drunk.
No, he shows that enough in his performance. His performance is good. He's tortured. We know that. He has problems.
You don't need to know why.
He's losing his hearing. Yeah. He's doing, it's fine. You don't need all of that. His father and there's a wind farm and all of that crap. You don't need that. He could have chopped all that stuff out of the movie. It would have, and just kept the romance and the music. I think it would have been a better movie. It would have been shorter. And then the one other thing that kind of bugged me was at the end when she sings that song, and it's so good.
Yeah.
But the minute she started singing, I went, okay, here comes the montage. And sure enough.
What's wrong with a montage?
But it was so cliched. Here comes the montage of the love.
If the song she's singing at the end is just her standing on the stage,
it was okay.
They can't just have her standing there for 3 minutes. They have to do something else.
It was okay. It was
you
okay that they did it.
You are looking for things to not like.
No, it was okay that they did it. I'm sorry that I knew that they did.
I've heard his side now.
But she was so good.
I absolutely loved it. I don't go re-see movies in the theater very often anymore. I'll go see this one again for sure. Just to see and hear her on that big screen.
Yep. She's brilliant.
And I want to see if I can find some interviews with her about this movie because I would like to see how she addresses this. So she's like kind of a folky singer, and then she turns into a pop star. And that's not giving anything away. This movie's been done 4 times.
Yeah.
But making fun of, like, you sell out when you go to pop music and you wear the glittery bustier and you have dancers. That's when you sell out. Well, that's Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, that's
her. How does she reconcile?
Because she knows that.
Is that a cell phone? Self-own? No.
Because she knows that. That's what her whole thing has been about. She knows that. She has commented on her own career all the way along.
But I would just say that her pop songs, though, have a message. They're not just...
Not all of them.
Shake your ass.
Not all of them.
They're...
Not all of them. She has commented on her own career all the way through her career.
I just wonder if this has made her do any more self-reflection in that.
I think she knows what she's about and has always known what she's about.
Jimmy says she's a terrible interview. She rambles too much.
Oh. But Jimmy liked the movie.
Oh, yeah, he loved it.
I would say, and I told, you should tell your wife this, Bill, because I told my husband, because both of our spouses said, yeah, I don't have any desire to see that movie. I told them, you know what, I think you would enjoy. I think this is a movie, you shouldn't just look at it like, oh, it's a romantic movie, or it's
too long.
It is not too long.
Too long.
I wanted one more song. It wasn't long enough.
Well, then cut that psychological... It's a wind farm! How could you?
Well, I'll get into the romance and psychological angles of Venom coming up.
Rollover crash reported in West Jordan near the intersection of Bacchus Highway and New Bingham Highway. That's near 67th West. And there's some snow up top of Parley's. Not really causing any accidents, but it is of note, so I noted it. If you're in an accident, the first thing you should do is contact the advocates. Remember, they don't get paid until you do. Go to UtahAdvocates.com for more information. You deserve an advocate.
All right, Boners round 1 coming up. Here are your candidates. Boner candidate number 1. Couldn't they just do the school fight song? Boner candidate number 2, the Hickey King. And boner candidate number 3, political speech is not entirely free in Texas.
All right, so round 1 of your boners, big boy news, opinioendo, all coming up after these. BigOTires.com.
Here, Big O Tires, look, let me grab this for you. Big O Tires, the save up to $100 off Big O brand tires through October 14th. What's the date today?
It's the 8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of time.
Well, no, you don't.
Okay, go
it's
today.
The 8th. They have the lowest price on every tire every day, but they have no credit needed financing. 40 locations in Utah. I suggest you try my location on South Temple and 2nd East. They're great people. But Noel, go to the one you like the best.
I go to the Highland Drive one.
Big O is more than just tires, though. Brakes, alignments, oil, wiper blades, all of that stuff. But you only have until October 14th to save up to $100 off Big O brand tires. All right? Big O tires, more than just tires. They've got shocks, struts, all of that stuff. Go to BigOTires.com for more. They are the team you trust.
X96 is the home of the 1-hour nonstop music wingding.
my question is, and this is for you parents, is I didn't know that they still did these.
Oh, yeah.
The daddy-daughter
Daddy.
dance, and there's a mommy-son dance.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know they still did these.
Yeah.
These seem
No, they're sweet.
creepy.
No, they're sweet. They're really
No,
I
it's
don't know.
just-
You're not watching Bates Motel with me.
That's your problem. You're skewed. You're skewed with the Bates family.
Well, they're just I mean, they're
Because
just
Carrie,
meant to
that's all
be-
it is
Tell
is
me
a dance.
Well, tell me what they.
There-
What,
I mean,
what is it?
It's
Tell
just
me.
meant to be. It's meant to be an evening where father and daughter, who may not necessarily interact all the time, because the dad's at work and it's the mom who takes care of things, and so it's just so they just go to the dance, and there's punch and cookies.
It's cute.
and-
You get dressed up, and it's a nice.
Why do you think it's
evening out.
creepy?
You don't think it sends a weird message?
No.
No.
Because you do the exact same activity with a boy. You know, the boy you're dating. It's the exact same activity, the prom, right?
Well, except it's
or the
except
harvest
there's a,
dance.
Except
or
there's a
whatever.
different intent.
And this is no different than
No, there's a different intent. If you're taking a girl to the prom, you'll want to after the prom get with her in the back seat of the car,
Oh.
and in the daddy-daughter dance, that never would even occur to you.
Well,
I mean, really?
No, Carrie. Okay, do you think this is cute?
All right.
When dads that have little girls and the little girl wants to have a little tea party, and she invites daddy to the tea party, and they say,
That's. I'm not
Well,
getting laid
kids-
at the end of a tea party.
Kids shouldn't be.
well, it doesn't have to go there. It's
Well,
just
then-
nice.
but that's what the dance is all
That's
about.
what's in Carrie's mind.
See, anytime I went to a high school dance, my goal at the end was to at least make out.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, Carrie, I went to lots of dances where that never happened.
Gina, that's
Well,
that's
that's
you.
a bad example.
Gina, that's you. You're a bad example.
I just went to dances where it was just about the dance and
no,
went out to dinner, and that was
no,
the end of
no,
it.
Gina, the guy you were with, that was not what it was all
Not
about.
all guys think
Yes.
that way. Any
Yes,
dance
they do.
ever. That's
Ye-
the
yes.
purpose of
Yes.
going to a dance.
Yes.
No.
Okay, you see my point about the daddy-daughter.
No, because it's a daddy. It's not. It's the kid's
See,
dad, not
okay,
a
well,
date.
The real reason we should stop doing the daddy-daughter and the mommy-son
Yeah.
is because this is the age of Disney. At least one of the parents are dead or divorced or something.
Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
All right, 7:20 right now. Time for round one of the Boner voting. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You'll decide of these 3 candidates which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight. and possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it must defeat the winner of round 2's voting. Yes, we do this again at 8:20 with 3 more candidates.
Oh.
Then we take the 2 winners and we throw them into the Boner fight at 9:20. That's when you decide Boner of the Day. You've got a lot of work to do today. All this voting and listening and paying attention.
We expect so much of you.
So, 2 candidates now, then a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. And one of you lucky random Boner voters will receive
tickets to Dead City Haunted House, Salt Lake City's brand new scare.
Here's Boner candidate number 1. Couldn't they just do the school fight song? A Mississippi high school band is under fire for an off-key halftime show depicting police being held at gunpoint. Performed in a city where less than a week ago, 2 cops were killed on the job.
Oh, yeah.
Photos circulating online Saturday show students from Forest Hill High School clad in medical scrubs and pointing assault rifles at bandmates wearing SWAT vests lying on the field with their hands up. The Friday skit, supposedly a take on a scene from the Denzel Washington movie John Q., performed at Brookhaven High School, came as the city reels in the wake of the deaths of Patrolman James White and Corporal Zach Moak, killed on September 29th when they responded to a call of shots fired at a home. Their funerals were held Wednesday and Thursday. This is unacceptable in a civilized society. Someone should be held accountable, said Governor Phil Bryant. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety said in a statement it is extremely disturbed by Forest Hill High School's leadership approving and allowing their band to display a reenactment of violence against law enforcement at a high school football game. Forest Hill's band director has been put on leave pending an investigation by the school district. Kokwe Lumumba, the mayor of Jackson, where Forest Hill is located, offered his sincerest regrets to the Brookhaven community. Why they did this is unclear. Boner candidate number 1. Couldn't they just do the school fight song instead? Here's Boner candidate number 2, the Hickey King.
I like the title.
You should see the mugshot. If you can do it, go to x96.com/live. I'm sure we have the picture. Micah Musser was placed on 5 years probation program and ordered to enter a rehab.
Oh, my.
A rehab treatment facility once a bed becomes available.
x96.com/live.
Mr. Musser pleaded guilty last month to burglary and criminal mischief charges filed after his arrest in late March. He's been locked up in the Montgomery County Jail. Mr. Musser first appeared last year when he was arrested by Louisville cops who discovered him and several teenage runaways inside of an abandoned building. When booked into the Louisville Metro Corrections Jail last June, Mr. Musser's neck was adorned with an array of fresh hickeys. Not just a few.
No, it's covered in them.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of big purple hickeys all over his neck. They dubbed him the Hickey King.
He should keep that. That's his street name now.
Yep.
Sup, Hickey King?
Boner candidate number 2, the Hickey King.
It's really just disturbing to see.
Coming up in a moment, Boner candidate number 3. Political speech is not entirely free in Texas.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round 1 coming up after this big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
Hope's Vision, $800 off LASIK so you can enjoy the beauty of the fall season without the hassles of glasses and contacts. HopesVision.com. Schedule your VIP consultation today.
All right.
Well, apparently, is not comfortable, not doing too well. Mr. Cosby, he should be out of prison already. It's been 2 weeks, and things just...
That's enough.
I've learned my lesson.
I think...
I won't drug any more women and rape them.
A defense motion filed on Friday outlines the overturning of the actor's conviction and his 3 to 10 year sentence. It said there were errors made in his sex assault case and trial. The defendant, Mr. William H. Cosby Jr., moves this court for a new trial in the interest of justice, or at least for reconsideration and modification of the sentence. Mr. Cosby's, you see, because, you see, I just can't I'm not sleeping well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rudy! The poor dear.
The LDS Church's General Conference.
Bill, please, the Church of Jesus
Yeah.
Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You just made Satan happy.
Well, that's what they addressed quite now. They don't want to be called the Mormon Church anymore,
or the LDS Church,
and this is the reason given. And they talked. The president of the church talked about it in conference. Jesus Christ named the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. President Russell M. Nelson said at the General Conference on Sunday morning, and it offends Jesus Christ if his name is not used in the name of the church. The church's president gave a detailed, plain, impassioned explanation for his announcement 6 weeks ago that the faith would no longer use nicknames such as Mormon Church or LDS Church. He said his emphasis on the full name is not a name change, it's not a rebranding, not a cosmetic or a whim, or is it inconsequential? It is a correction, he said. It is the command of the Lord. He grew emotional when he said the church itself, both administration and members, have perpetuated nicknames that do not include Christ's name, subtly disregarding all that Jesus Christ did for us, even his atonement. After all he had endured, President Nelson said, and his voice was trembling slightly when he spoke these words, after all he had done for humankind, I realize with profound regret that we have unwittingly acquiesced in the Lord's restored church being called by other names, each of which expunges the sacred name of Jesus Christ. When the Savior clearly states what the name of his church should be and even precedes his declaration with, "Thus shall my church be called," he's serious and it's not negotiable. So, pretty serious about it, and I think that, and then they've renamed it's not the Mormon Tabernacle Choir any longer. It's the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square.
No one will call it that.
I believe they will.
I just mean within the church they will, but I think the members will. I just think generally people will have a hard time not saying the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
Yeah, well, Sanpete County prosecutors have filed charges against two boys who allegedly helped their 16-year-old Gunnison High School classmates sexually assault another teenager, setting off an investigation that has revealed at least 13 other alleged assaults. Since the 16-year-old was charged last week with 6 counts of first-degree felony object rape and other accounts, 5 more victims have come forward. It's a safe assumption more will come forward. The 16-year-old was charged last week with additional counts. So they're still investigating. It goes on and on in Gunnison. That limo crash in New York was just absolutely horrible. Four upstate New York sisters, celebrating the youngest one's birthday, with 3 of their husbands were among the 20 that were killed when their limo blew through a stop sign and crashed. One just got married, and that's what this was. Her new husband was giving her a surprise birthday party, the sister's aunt Barbara Douglas said in a quavering voice, her eyes filled with tears, visiting the scene of the wreck. Their brother, Tom King, said his 4 sisters were very close. They were like the 4 musketeers, he told the New York Post, adding that his parents are just in shock. We are all what's left. There were 7 of us, 5 sisters, 2 brothers, he said. The nation's worst transportation disaster in nearly a decade happened shortly before 2 p.m. Saturday in Scolari, New York.
2 p.m.? This was in the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, and they're trying to do the right thing. They're going to a brewery. So I'm sure you thought, well, we'll rent a limo so we don't
the responsible thing.
Yeah. Columbus, Ohio is saying goodbye to Columbus Day.
Indigenous Ohio?
Columbus, the city. Local government officials announced that the city will not observe the holiday, but instead take a holiday On Veterans Day, the city of Columbus will be open on Columbus Day on Monday. All city offices will maintain regular hours of operation. A brief statement on the city's website reads, trash collection and parking enforcement will also remain regularly scheduled. The holiday, along with statues of Christopher Columbus, has become controversial in recent years as the explorer's mistreatment and enslavement of indigenous people has received more attention. Columbus officials said that the action is not a response to the controversy. Well, I don't know what it is then. We have a number of veterans who work for the city, and there are so many here in Columbus. We thought it would be important to honor them with a day off. That's why we're canceling this day off, and we're going to have a day off on Veterans Day.
But it has nothing to do with the controversy.
No.
We were just looking around and went, that.
But it is, here in Salt Lake, it is Indigenous Peoples Day, not Columbus Day. And there's an Indigenous Peoples celebration at the Utah Natural History Museum.
A special dinner?
Yeah, a special dinner. And they're serving Four Corners potatoes, among other things. I'd like to try them.
What did they do to them?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. All potatoes are good.
They're tiny, starchy, edible tubers packed with proteins and vitamins. I'll have some cornbread, and that'll do.
That's close enough.
Yeah, I looked up a bunch of different Native American, squash. You could eat some squash.
Have some squash.
Have some squash to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Christine Blasey Ford, the woman who accused now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of sexual.
Why do you have to say that? Can't you just say Kavanaugh? It's like I don't like it when you say President Trump. Can't you just say Trump? Lie to me, Bill. I want you to lie to me.
No.
No?
No, I won't. So don't ask me to ever again. Who publicly accused now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. You have to learn to deal with these unpleasant truths. Of sexual misconduct, has not been able to return to her home and faces near constant stream of threats, her attorneys said. This has been terrifying. Her family has been through a lot, said her lawyer, Deborah Katz. They're not living at home. It's going to be quite some time before they're able to live at home. The threats have been unending. It is deplorable, said her attorney. The Trump administration, that's President Trump, Gina, has reportedly obtained search warrants that would allow them to access the Facebook pages of thousands of anti-Trump protesters. The requested data, which targets all the information in 3 accounts, would include information on about 6,000 individuals who liked an anti-Donald Trump Facebook page, according to CNN.
This sounds very Russian.
The ACLU is fighting the warrant, claiming it seeks information that is not relevant to a federal probe. What is particularly chilling about these warrants is that anti-administration political activists are going to have their political associations and views scrutinized by the very administration they're protesting, said ACLU attorney Scott Michelman. Requested data would go back to November 1st, 2016, a week before the presidential election. One of the users targeted ran the Disrupt 20 page where Inauguration Day protests were organized. The user, Emilia Tallarico, said in a court filing that if the government obtained her information, it would have access to her personal passwords, security questions and answers, and credit card information, plus the private lists of invitees and attendees to multiple political events sponsored by the page. A spokesperson for Facebook said the company had fought in court to notify the 3 main individuals about the government's request for their information. We're grateful to the companies and civil society organizations that supported us in arguing for people's ability to learn about and challenge overly broad search warrants.
Perfectly normal. Nothing to worry about. I'm sure it's just fine.
Yeah, probably.
Jeez.
Yeah, probably.
Scary.
United States.
It was weather traffic.
So, chance of some rain this morning, but by this afternoon that should go away. It will be much cooler, though, 57 for a high. Traffic, we've got a crash northbound I-15 SR-92 in Utah County off to the left shoulder. And let's see. Friend of the program says 2-car accident northbound I-15 right at SR 92 off to the left-hand side, close to the left lane, so drivers need to be careful. No emergency vehicles on the scene yet. That was about 20 minutes ago. Someone sent that in via text 33986. Get unlimited 1.5% cash back plus a $100 bonus with Power Cashback Credit Card from Security Service Federal Credit Union. Restrictions apply. Get details at ssfcu.org.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Political speech is not entirely free in Texas. Police in Texas removed an anti-Republican political sign from a woman's yard Tuesday last week. Amid national rancor over the Senate's vote on Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation of the Supreme Court. The poster, made by Marion Stanford of Hamilton, Texas, and placed in her yard, shows an elephant painted in red, white, and blue with stars, a well-known symbol of the Republican Party. The elephant is sticking its trunk up the skirt of a young blonde girl with pigtails crying for help. Beside the image is the slogan, "Your vote matters."
Okay.
Stanford told the Washington Post that she painted the sign in response to the testimony of Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, who has accused the judge of attempting to rape her when the two were in high school. The Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller wrote a Facebook post expressing disapproval of the sign. "This is in Hamilton, Texas, and is supposed to be Judge Kavanaugh's young daughter," he wrote. "Notice my opponent's sign in the background. The Democrat sleaze knows no bounds." Miller's Democratic opponent, Kim Olson, also condemned the sign in an interview with the Dallas Morning News. Stanford told the Morning News that the police visited her house Tuesday night and asked her about the sign and then confiscated it. "Police told me to remove the sign or they would take it and would arrest me. So I let them take it." The city manager of Hamilton has denied that police seized the sign, telling the newspaper that Stanford gave it away. A police member visited the owner's home, and the owner asked the officer to take the sign, he said. The owner asked the officer to take the sign.
Would you please take... No.
Stanford said it was not, in fact, Kavanaugh's daughter depicted on the poster, but a version of a Washington Post editorial cartoon. She added she believed Miller's comments about the sign did not befit a politician of his stature. This is not something a reputable, respected politician would do. There's nothing on my sign that would remotely suggest that it was Kavanaugh's daughter, she said. It's just a girl.
It's a generic girl.
Yeah. Anne Telanaes, the Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist behind the original image, responded to the controversy on Twitter. "Good thing I'm not cartooning in Texas," she said. She originally drew the cartoon in response to the Republican Party's support of Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore.
So it predates Kavanaugh anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Boner candidate number 3. Political speech is not entirely free in Texas.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. Couldn't they just do the school fight song? A high school band under fire for depicting police being held at gunpoint during a halftime show. The high school band on the field. I don't know what they were doing. Boner candidate number 2. The Hickey King. It's a guy sentenced following for his arrest. His mugshot. His neck is covered with hickeys. Huge purple
they're
hickeys.
Gross.
It's really disgusting.
And boner candidate number 3, political speech is not entirely free in Texas.
All right, here we go. This is round 1 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, yay. Wins round 1. You got that. You're not boner of the day yet. You got to defeat the winner of round 2's voting. That happens at 8:20 with 3 more candidates. And we'll take the 2 winners. At 9:20, that's when boner fight happens. That's when you'll decide boner of the day. So pick your champion for round 1 right now. 1, 2, or 3. Remember the candidate number. Put that number in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Looks like Autumn is taking votes in the producer's booth with your voice, 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com, look for the box that says Boner Voting October 8, and vote there. You've got less than 300 seconds to do it. Let's go. This is round 1.
The music starts at 10 with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding on X96.
It's 7:46. Time to award round one of your boner voting.
Oh, yes, and round one of the boner voting is brought to you, is it in part?
Yep.
It's brought to you in part by, how about, let's see, how about some cornbread for Native American, Indigenous Peoples Day.
And Dead City Haunted House is Salt Lake City's brand new scare with 30,000 square feet containing 50 rooms of fear. Dead City Haunted House is the bravest haunt goers' dream. Get tickets, discounts, and more information at deadcityhauntedhouse.com. Be one of the first to experience Utah's newest haunt.
So we had boner candidate number one. Couldn't they just do the school fight song instead of some skit? The high school band and there they are in the middle of the field doing pretending to shoot cops. What? I don't get it. Boner candidate number two, the Hickey King. Just a funny mugshot. Guy with hickeys all over his neck. Never seen anything like that. And boner candidate number three, well, political speech is not entirely free in Texas. Police removing a Texas yard sign showing a Republican elephant with its trunk up a woman's or a girl's skirt. You can't do that here in Texas. Just not going to allow that. Someone named Mel won tickets to that 50 Rooms of Fear, that Dead City haunted house. And the winner of the boner voting was boner candidate number three.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's the winner of round one. It now goes to boner fight. It'll face off against the winner of round two's voting. That'll happen at 8:20. So be here for that. Again, you've got your work cut out for you. Then we'll throw both of the winners into the Boner Dome at 9:20 for boner fight, and you'll decide boner of the day at that time. All right. Bill Frost will be here to talk about TV coming up. Okay. Stand by for that.
So my house is old. It was built in 1921, and we remodeled it when we moved in, but we left some things undone just to save money, and now we're doing them. One of them was a bathroom in the basement, and I told you last week about how we were demoing it, and the guy demoing it found newspaper from, what was it, 41, I think?
Yeah, with the Camel cigarette cartoon.
Camel cigarette cartoon in it. And so he was back at it this weekend, and he said, I found some more stuff.
More stuff in the walls.
More stuff.
Ooh.
And he said, I found an Indian head penny from 1903. If you go to x96.com/live.
Not in the greatest of shape.
No, I mean, it's been, it's been in the wall.
In a bathroom
wall. Yeah, in a bathroom wall. But you can see at the bottom there, it says 1903, and I got all excited because I'm like, hey, aren't these worth money?
No. Yeah, they're worth a penny.
No, it's worth about $1.
Is it? And even if it's in good shape.
Yeah, and this is not in good shape. But cool, 1903, just to hold something in your hand from 1903.
That's when my house was built, 1903.
In 1903?
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember you talking about...
Oh, yeah, we found all kinds of stuff in the walls.
Like what? What's
old locks, and we found an old newspaper. We found an old newspaper in the attic that had an obituary, which announced the death of a young girl. Her name was Dolly, who died at the age of 7, who died in the house.
Creepy. So that penny, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to take that and the newspaper clipping and, I don't know, make kind of a shadow box or something that I want to...
With all the crap that you found in there?
Yeah. But I said, so he's like, oh, and I found some other stuff too. A couple of marbles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we found marbles too. I think that was common. Builders, carpenters, and people who work on houses, they do. When we did the remodel of our attic, the guys who were working on our attic, and they're not supposed to do it.
Hide stuff in the walls?
Like the contractor, the guy who was our contractor said, I tell them not to do it, and if I catch them, but they do it anyway.
Yeah.
They'll put stuff behind the walls.
And so what else did you find? He said, well, I found this, an old cane.
A cane?
And this, and he held it up. And I said, what is that? And he said, I think it's a child's belt. It was a piece of leather that had a buckle on it, but it was small. So where does my mind go? Well, somebody
where are the bones of
somebody
the child?
murdered a kid with the cane.
Yeah, of course. That's
kid was playing marbles. Maybe he was betting on the marbles with his Indian head penny.
Yeah, that's great. And you don't want me to say President Trump. Yeah,
but
good.
Then we're going to hide all the evidence.
And then they killed the child.
And they killed the kid.
Yeah, but I shouldn't say Justice Kavanaugh.
No, that's way more offensive. And so this is where my mind goes. There's like, you sure there isn't anything else?
Any bones in there?
In the wall?
A bottle of poison?
If it makes you feel any better, maybe it's not a child's belt, but maybe a heroin addict lived there. That was his tying off belt. Just a small one.
Use the cane to
and I don't know. He had a that's why he had pain, is because of his leg.
Yeah, he had a limp.
And he had to use the heroin to
in the bath, because you go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not murder. I hope it's not murder.
Well, have you noticed a dreadful feeling in your bathroom?
Easy way out.
I feel cold. It's cold in here.
It's cold in here. Well, it's a bathroom.
It's in the basement.
Tile.
Wait
a
minute. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pipes.
Yeah.
But so when I was thinking I'm going to make a shadow box with the camel newspaper ad and the Indian head penny.
And the old belt.
But do I put the murder belt in it?
Yes. And the cane.
It's not a murder belt.
The heroin belt.
The heroin belt.
Okay. I like your idea better.
And the marbles.
And put them all in.
I don't know.
Your wife wants to scan the camel ad because they're roller skating in the ad.
No.
She wants a copy of that.
And those roller derby girls smoke while they're skating. You know?
Do they? While they're doesn't
all
the
time.
ash fall on the?
It doesn't matter. They just skate through it.
And somebody says that you should put some current stuff in the walls
to replace,
so that down the road a piece when people are.
Should I try to trick people into thinking there was a murder there? Should I put like a knife and
put a bloody knife in there? Get some
for fun for somebody.
Get some cow's blood.
Cow's blood, yeah.
Murder knife.
Yeah. Murder knife.
Put a murder knife in
or
there.
A hammer.
Yeah.
Murder claw hammer.
Murder claw hammer. That's even more fun.
Hey, you have to put stuff in there to appease the spirit of the house. It needs stuff in the walls to.
Now, you remember a few years ago when my sister's next door neighbor found human bones in the, and they, on Indigenous Peoples Day, they were Native American bones.
That somebody had obviously looted from somewhere.
And then felt bad about it and buried it in the wall.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were doing what I'm talking about doing. I wonder if people think I murdered somebody and put them in the wall.
Yeah. I like the idea.
Stuff in the walls. Crash northbound I-15 at 102nd South in Salt Lake. Left shoulder being affected there. Crash Redwood Road at Pony Express Parkway in Utah County. Southbound right 2 lanes are closed and westbound lanes are closed. Crash northbound I-15 86 South, right shoulder being affected there. Crash northbound I-15 53rd South on-ramp. And crash northbound I-15 SR92 in Utah County, left shoulder affected there. Fantastic Sam's cut and color services are just like what you'd get at the high-end salons, but without the high-end price. No appointment needed. Just walk right in for a salon location near you. Visit fantasticsams.com/Utah.
All right. Bill Frost will be here to talk about what's on TV this week coming up. Stand by. KXRK Provo.
Hi, I'm Todd Newcomb. I was born in Utah, and I grew up listening to alternative music in Utah.
I was yesterday. I was at a business. I'll tell you, I was at a business called Total Health and Fitness, who I believe we're going to be doing some commercials for. So I'm out there talking to the folks and everything, and I get done with my business at Total Health and Fitness, which is in Draper, 123rd South. And I'm just about to leave the building where Total Health and Fitness is located.
Okay.
And a woman walks in and walks up to the desk and says to the lovely receptionist at Total Health and Fitness, "Hi, is this Total Health and Fitness?" To which the receptionist, being a nicer person than I am, said, "Why, yes, it is." And that the woman said, "Oh, okay, good. I'd really like to apply for a job." Now, if it had been me as the receptionist, when she walked in and said, "Is this Total Health and Fitness?" And I probably would have been nice to a point and said, "Yes." And when she said, "Oh, good, I'd like to apply for a job," I would have said, "Don't bother."
Exactly.
Because you apparently can't read the signs all over the building. You didn't read the big sign over the door before you walked in. You didn't see the sign on 123rd South, blazing across the building, Total Health and Fitness. You didn't see that anywhere. I'd just as soon you not apply for a job. Thank you. Goodbye.
You think she was being ironic? Because the signs were everywhere?
No. The receptionist did say she's way nicer than I am, but it was probably true. I don't think she was just trying to be nice. She said, "Well, we're not hiring right now." I would have just said, "Don't bother." God. Oh, shit. I'm just sitting there looking at this going, really? I'm not a nice person, though.
No, you're not.
No.
follow him on Twitter at RFHCarey. Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, 802. Sponsor, Gina? Is this?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Are you remarkable? Looking for a great new opportunity? Black Turtle is hiring full-time, part-time customer service representatives, competitive pay, no weekend shifts. Apply online today at jointheturtle.com.
Well, here he is, Bill Frost. He's from Slug Magazine, among other places.
Sure.
And St. George.
Yeah.
Slug Magazine and St. George.
Ew.
And other places. And he writes for Slug Magazine.
Yeah.
And hosts a podcast called TV Tan and plays guitar in a band called Magna Vega. And you can find all of that
at billfrost.tv. The latest Slug column called Content Shifter is all about it's 11 shows for Rocktober.
Okay.
All right.
Are they all rock-centric?
All rock-centric,
Nice.
rock and music-centric shows.
Like what?
Such as The Get Down from Netflix or Metalocalypse, of course.
Of course.
The
You gotta
most
have
metal
that.
show ever.
Got to have that on the list.
And shows like that.
Rocktober
Yeah.
sales event, guys.
All right.
And tonight, Utah's own Andy Mack, season 3 on the Disney.
Our very own
that's
Jay
right.
Whitaker is in. He's
Yeah.
coach.
He's the coach, yes.
So there's that. I know nothing about this show
A-
other than
actually-
it's filmed in Salt Lake.
Andy Mack is a really well done kids show. It's,
Okay.
They tackle LGBTQ stuff. They tackle.
How was it filmed here then?
Yeah, I know. It's
Well,
the acting's really good on it.
Well,
It's-
that's good.
It's a show I don't mind watching with my kids.
Fine.
All right. For the other kids, The Flash is back tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I enjoy The Flash.
Yes.
I do. And the plot twists this season is he has a daughter from the future.
I'll keep changing time till you love me. That's kind of The Flash.
Yeah. I'm more looking forward to the crossover event that's happening, I think, at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Where we introduce Batwoman.
Yeah. Also, Black Lightning, season 2, tomorrow night.
What's Black Lightning?
Black Lightning is a superhero. He has electricity. He commands electricity.
Okay.
And the first half of the season, kind of clunky, but then it figured out what it wanted to be, and then it got good.
Fine show.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on Wednesday, Riverdale, season 3. This is CW week here.
People love it.
I watch it. I keep coming back. I don't know why. Also, the debut of a new series called All American. Sports ball. It's on the CW.
It's a series.
Yeah, it's about a high school football player who's got a chance to go up to the big leagues, but he's conflicted.
So it's
hence drama.
It's Friday Night Lights, essentially.
Kind of.
All
Yeah.
right, okay.
It's Wednesday Night Lights is what it is.
Wednesday.
And going all the way to Thursday, Supernatural season 14. You'll never catch up. Don't try.
I won't. No,
I don't even know what it is.
Well,
we talk about it every year.
Yeah, it started out as kind of an X-Files kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
kind of a Hardy Boys meets X-Files kind of thing.
And then
it spun off into this whole mythology.
Yeah, something different.
There's too
Carrie's
much.
making a yucky face.
There's too much story.
I didn't care for the few that I saw in the first season, and then I never went back.
I tried to watch this once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could
They talked
easily.
a lot.
Not so much anymore, but I think you could skip the first couple of seasons if you wanted to jump into this thing.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You got to be recovering from major surgery or something.
Yeah. You're not leaving the house for a while. On Friday, Maggie Gyllenhaal starring in a Sundance flick that dropping on Netflix, The Kindergarten Teacher.
Well, I heard her interviewed about this.
Yeah, she
Sounds
plays
kinda interesting.
a kindergarten teacher who finds a 5-year-old who's she deems to be, this kid is like extremely talented. I need to nurture his talent to get him. His parents are too dumb. Everyone's too dumb.
Wow.
I'm going to make sure this kid becomes the next Mozart.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's her obsession with shepherding this 5-year-old to his talent destiny.
Why do we care?
I guess if you like Maggie Gyllenhaal.
It's a Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
And
You don't like anything today, do you?
I don't think that's true. I've liked a lot of things today. I like Indigenous Peoples Day. I was quite interested in your story of things behind. Would you like me to make a list for you and pass it off to you?
Yes.
I won't. Because I don't like you.
I don't like lists.
Also dropping on Friday, new from Matthew Weiner, Mad Men, The Romanovs.
The Romanovs.
Oh, the Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an anthology series about the different group of people every week who believe themselves to be the descendants of the Russian royal family, the Romanovs. And it's basically dramatic white people problems. I barely understand what it's about.
It seems a little too convoluted.
But it's Matthew Weiner, so I'll try it.
And then there's that. Yeah.
And it's got a lot of people like Corey Stoll, Carrie Bichet from *Halt and Catch Fire*, a really cool show you should catch up on. Aaron Eckhart, a lot of it's good cast.
Good cast, yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum, *Dynasty* season 2 premieres Friday night on the CW.
You mean Dynasty like the old Dynasty?
But new.
Yeah, they didn't need to do this either.
No one watched season 1. I don't know why it's back for season 2.
Because we promised. Because there are contracts.
Also, the 4th and final season of *Crazy Ex-Girlfriend* premieres
I
on
enjoy
CW Friday. Very funny show.
Mm-hmm.
And another podcast gets to be a TV show on HBO. Pod Save America, a political podcast. They're doing a series of live shows throughout the country leading up to the election.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
now, is it actually is it live?
It is live, yeah, in front of an audience. They do episodes that are live in front of audiences.
So that could be
occasionally.
interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it live like Bill Maher is live?
No.
Okay, so it's pre-recorded from maybe the night before.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's a mistake. They should do them live because the way that the political news changes,
you can't keep up.
In 24 hours, you just can't keep up.
Yeah. And a Saturday Night Live hosted by Seth Meyers and the ghost of Paul Simon.
What?
Paul Simon's a musical guest next week.
Really?
Or this week.
It's because he's retiring.
I thought he had retired.
Well, he played his last official
concert.
You only play 2 songs on SNL. It's not like
he's
heavy lifting or anything.
He's Lorne Michaels' neighbor.
Oh, that's why.
Paul,
hey, Paul, why
would
don't
you
you come on by the...
Well, Lorne, I'm kind of tired. I was going to sit in the garden today.
Come on, it's only 2 songs. You'll be
Can
fine.
I ride down with you? Can I ride?
I guess I could give you a ride, Paul.
And coming up on Sunday, Supergirl, season 4 of the CW.
Yes, on Sunday now.
Yeah, CW is expanding onto Sunday nights now. Finally.
Interesting.
It only took them 20 years. And
that's because every other show is on a Sunday.
Yeah, let's put more stuff on Sunday night.
Make my DVR explode.
And the new Charmed. There's a new Charmed.
Okay.
Sister Witches.
Can't we just have new shows?
This is a new show.
But it's an old show. But just
it's
make
new.
a new show.
Well, here's what happens when you get new shows.
You have to complain about everything. You don't like anything, do you?
They gave Alec Baldwin a talk show on ABC. Debuts on Sunday.
That won't go well.
What's he calling it?
It's the Alec Baldwin Show.
That won't go well.
Apparently, it's based on a podcast he does.
Yeah, his podcast is fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah, so interviewing celebrity guests like Robert De Niro and Taraji P. Henson. And
his podcast is called Here's the Thing. You see, here's the thing.
Clever.
Yeah, it's all right.
And a new series on HBO starring Jennifer Grainer and David Tennant. Camping.
Camping.
Yeah.
A comedy?
It's an 8-episode dark comedy about a wife and her husband, David Tennant. They go on a camping trip with the kids, and things get dark and weird and murdery.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's it on?
It's on HBO. It drops on Sunday. It's called Camping.
With Jennifer Garner.
And I believe this is only intended to be a one series and done thing.
I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
And see, and I would recommend a show very much like it, The Detour.
Yes. Now been on for 4 seasons now.
Yes, and it's very fun.
Jason Jones.
Jason Jones.
That's on TBS.
And who's the woman?
She's from Justified.
Yeah, she was on Justified.
Natalie Zia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is your week there.
That's the week?
Yeah, that's the week.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I tried.
There's too many shows.
There's new Walking Dead. Catch up on that.
I tried to watch The Detour, and then it just kind of got lost because there's too much. There's too much. I didn't mean that as a joke either. No.
You got lost on the detour?
Yeah. No, it got lost in the shuffle because
there aren't too many shows.
Yeah.
Free mattress just north of 45th South on I-15. Thank you, friend of the program, that sent that in via text, 33986. Crash south on I-15, 10th North, left shoulder being affected there. Crash northbound I-15, 102nd South. Crash Redwood Road, Pony Express Parkway in Utah County. 2 southbound right lanes closed, westbound lanes closed. Crash northbound I-15, 86th South. Right now at Big O Tires, save $100 off a set of Big O brand tires. Hurry, the sale ends October 14th. Don't forget about Big O's no credit needed financing. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Boner's round 2 coming up. Here are the candidates. Boner candidate number 1. We don't go to church that often in Houghton Conquest. Boner candidate number 2. Well, his bringing me the coffee was not an ordinary event. And Boner candidate number 3. Yay, not gonna die. Perhaps you spoke too soon.
Round 2 of your boners, Big Boy News, Opinioendo, all coming up. Also, Geek News is on the way as well.
Why don't you get a job, you lazy sot? Get a job.
I have one.
No, I don't mean you.
Oh, okay.
You're not a lazy sot. Zero Res, the most recommended carpet cleaning company in Salt Lake, is growing, and they are looking for people, all right? They are looking for people. They are the highest-rated cleaning company in the industry, and they really are growing, and they want people. They want you to be one of their guys or girls, technicians.
No, we know the people that own and run the place. They're good people. I imagine they'd be good to work for.
Yeah. So right now, new hires will receive a $400 recruitment bonus. You make over $20 an hour. Paid training, medical benefits. Join a respected growing company, Zero Res, with room to grow your skills and make good money. Call Zero Res and schedule an interview for a job with Zero Res today, or schedule your cleaning with Zero Res. We've all used them. They do great work, and they'd be a great company to work with. So cleaning, $33 a room. Call for details. Tell them Radio from Hell sent you, whether you're calling for a job or you're calling to get your carpets cleaned. Here's the number, 801-2880. That's 801-288-9376. Or you can go to their website, zerores.com.
Radio from Hell has a new podcast.
It's the Radio from Hell Best of podcast.
Gina wearing a turtleneck sweater today.
Covering up her hickeys. That's what people do.
It's interesting. People don't wear turtlenecks very often anymore.
Unless they're covering up hickeys.
You have something against hickeys?
That's why I used to have a dickie.
To cover your hickey?
To cover the hickey. It was my hickey dickie. I mentioned a dickie the other day, and I don't think anyone knew what I was talking about.
I don't think anybody has them anymore.
Dickie is now a clothing brand, and that's what it's known for.
As a matter of fact, that's what I said. Somebody said to me, "Oh yeah, I love Dickies. Their coats and their pants," and I went,
"Yeah,
no, I'm
an
never
actual
mind.
Dickie.
Never mind.
It's a fake shirt.
Dickie was a fake sweater.
Was
it a fake shirt
or
a collar?
Sweater?
You did
it's
both?
A fake sweater.
Fake sweater.
It was to make it look as though you were wearing a turtleneck
under your vest or jacket
or your shirt or whatever. Yeah, to make it look as though you were wearing a. It was really a stupid idea.
It was a dumb idea.
I had one, I think, for some reason.
But they were everywhere. It seems like I knew everybody had one.
Yeah.
Nobody wore them, but everybody had one.
It's a stupid idea.
Well, turtlenecks are stupid unless you're the Gorton's fisherman.
It's true.
Maybe I'm going fishing later.
Yeah, sure.
No, you're not. You're going to be way too warm in that.
You think?
Yeah.
You're dressed up for people today, aren't
We're
you?
seeing people.
Mm-hmm.
I've never worn this sweater, and I thought, I'll wear that.
Yeah, you'll be too warm. You'll
Well,
be
it's
uncomfortable.
too late now.
You're going to be sweating and sweating. It's going to be in your folds and everything.
I don't have any folds.
Of course not. She's a lady.
Yeah.
I'm smooth top to bottom.
For round 2 of your boner voting. Presenting to you 3 news stories. They are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your vote who is the worst of these 3. Which one of these candidates deserves to go forward to Boner Fight and get a chance to become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's not Boner of the Day, it's just the winner of round 1. Then you got to
No, it's
take... round 2, excuse me.
we already did round 1.
It'll go up against the winner of round 1 in Boner Fight at 9:20. So 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
I can't buy it, gotta win it. Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair, Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
Boner candidate number 1, well, we just don't go to church that often in Houghton Conquest. Audacious thieves have stolen an entire 20-ton lead roof from a church.
How?
There it is.
The 20-ton lead roof was taken from All Saints Church in Houghton Conquest, Bedfordshire, over, quote, a prolonged period of time. police said. The theft was discovered on Tuesday, and police believe the thieves posed as tradesmen to gain access to the roof. The church said that the insurance would not cover all of the repair costs, expected to reach tens of thousands of pounds. Treasurer Joyce Bullock said,
I don't know how we're going to pay for it. I just pray every day that nothing else happens.
The theft was uncovered on Tuesday when daylight could be seen through the ceiling.
Wait a minute.
And rubble was found on the ground. Sarah Hannant, a member of the congregation, said,
Well, this is devastating. It's caused a lot of stress. We don't have enough volunteers as it is. It just takes the wind right out of your sails.
Church warden Margaret Taylor said the theft was
heartbreaking.
But a wedding and their harvest festival service are still going ahead this weekend. Gary Mudd, who lives in the village, said, I feel stunned. The morals of the thieves are appalling. Inspector Nick Masters said, we suspect the people responsible may have been going backwards and forwards to the church for a prolonged period of time.
Maybe this happened in the 80s.
He believes the thieves posed as tradesmen and drove trucks or vans so that they could transport scaffolding and ladders to the site to gain access to the roof. Well, this is an audacious incident, and we're exploring a number of lines of inquiry to find out how this happened. Clearly, this is unacceptable.
And didn't anybody at the church go, did you call?
I didn't call.
I didn't.
Well, we don't go to church that often in Houghton Conquest. Boner candidate number 1. 20 tons of lead.
That's amazing.
Here's Boner candidate number 2. Well, his bringing me the coffee was not an ordinary event. A Virginia man who allegedly attempted to kill his mother-in-law by putting methamphetamine into her coffee has been sentenced to prison. After reaching a plea deal, Jack David Price of Pamplin was sentenced to 6 years in prison earlier this week. Mr. Price is accused of putting meth in his 95-year-old mother's coffee in December. Prosecutors,
95? Just wait. She'll be gone soon. You don't have to hasten that along.
You're gone now.
Prosecutors say Esther Price, you don't understand. She's a bitch.
She's got to go now.
She's a bitch.
I can't wait one more day.
After researching a plea deal, prosecutors say Esther Price was admitted to a hospital last year showing signs of meth in her system. At the time, Esther Price's granddaughter, who's not been identified, told authorities she suspected Jack Price was trying to kill her grandmother. Esther Price also told authorities that the day before she got sick, Jack Price brought her some coffee. A gesture she said was, quote, not an ordinary event.
Yeah, you should be suspicious when someone brings you coffee.
Well, when he
usually bring you coffee.
Jack doesn't. He's not that kind of a guy to bring me coffee. Jack Price was sentenced Thursday after reaching a plea deal. Prosecutors dropped an attempted first-degree murder charge. That's Boner candidate number 2. His bringing me coffee was not an ordinary event. Coming up in a moment, Boner candidate number 3. Yay! Not gonna die! Well, perhaps you spoke too soon.
All right, there you go. You've got Boner candidate number 3 for round 2. Coming up after this, Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by.
Celebrate autumn at Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest. Escape for the whole weekend with the Oktoberfest Getaway Package, including lodging, daily breakfast, and all-day activities pass from $116 per person per night. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
Do you know the world's oldest barber is 107?
I had no idea.
And is still cutting hair?
Do you really want him to?
Anthony.
Shaky hands?
Anthony Mancinelli.
Certainly not a shave.
Yeah, no, not a straight edge shave.
I don't know. Yeah. Shook out his barber towel and welcomed the next customer to his chair in fantastic cuts. A cheery hair salon in a nondescript strip mall about an hour's drive north of New York City. Hey, Pazan! Same as usual, said John O'Rourke to Mr. Mancinelli, who began layering Mr. O'Rourke's hair with his steady snipping scissors. I don't let anybody else touch my hair, said Mr. O'Rourke of Cornwall, New York. This guy's been cutting hair for a century. Actually, Mr. O'Rourke was off by 3 years. Mr. Mancinelli is 107 and is still working full-time, cutting hair 5 days a week from noon to 8 p.m.
Wow. Really?
He's been working in barbershops since he was 11. Warren Harding was in the White House.
Jeez.
In 2007, at a mere 96 years old, he was recognized by Guinness World Records as the oldest working barber. And since then, the commendations have rolled in from local civic groups, elected officials, and barbering companies, all congratulating him. 100 years, 101, 102, so on. And he just keeps outdating the awards. Pretty amazing. He said when Mr. O'Rourke was in there getting his hair cut, the speakers in the salon playing hip-hop music. Salt Lake City Council last year designated today, for the first month or the second Monday in October, which had been known as Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. So essentially, we're celebrating both of them. Celebrating the two holidays on the same day is a way to inform our understanding of each's contributions to our national fabric, without demeaning the significance of either, said Council Chairman Stan Penfold at the time. There was a unanimous vote from the council members to do it. There was a drum circle in front of City Hall last year when they made the announcement. These prayers are much older than the city of Salt Lake, said Utah League of Native American Voters co-founder Moroni Benali.
Really?
Yeah.
That's multicultural right there.
Much older than America, so we honor these prayers, he said. The resolution was prompted by the League of Native American Voters, which lobbied for the change to Indigenous Peoples Day on Columbus Day. And that's why I wore my Protect Bears Ears shirt. There is still a chance, by the way, that Bears Ears could be put back to its original size. It's still in litigation, still in the courts, and I'd like to see that happen. So the medical marijuana agreement that has brought together warring factors in the Proposition 2 debate could make Utah a national test case. And the state itself would, because the state itself would be the distributor for cannabis. Other governments have molded such a system, but they have generally shied away from direct involvement in distributing cannabis,
So
illegal under federal law.
Like the liquor stores?
Kind
They
of,
control
yeah.
them like that?
Yeah. Usually we talk states out of it, said Karen O'Keefe, State Policy Director for the Marijuana Policy Project. Governor Herbert, legislative leaders, and advocates unveiled the proposed legislation Thursday that Utah lawmakers are expected to take up during a special session next month. Herbert described it as a step toward establishing a medical marijuana program that Prop 2 opponents, such as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, could stomach, and pledged to put it before lawmakers next month whether or not the ballot proposition passes. But don't think that you should. It doesn't matter whether you vote for Prop 2 or not now. If you were thinking of voting for it, vote for it anyway.
Yes.
The consensus plan would create a centralized state pharmacy that would package individual medical cannabis orders and ship them to a local health department for pickup by patients who qualify. Up to 5 private medical cannabis pharmacies would also be allowed under the legislation, but the state-run system would act as an alternative for rural residents who live far from those locations. It's a unique model, said Evan Vickers, Republican from Cedar City. By the way, he is a pharmacist, and he was one who helped
well, that's good.
Craft this system. So how it would work is a physician would recommend cannabis for a patient with a qualifying ailment. A physician would recommend.
It's not a prescription.
The patient would make a request for the drug either directly to the state pharmacy or through a doctor. The order would be verified with an electronic tracking system. to make sure you're not taking too much or more than you're allotted. If the doctor hasn't recommended a specific dosage, a qualified physician at the state central fill center would consult with the patient to determine the amount. An agent at the state's cannabis clearinghouse would review the order, process the payment, and prepare the shipment. The agent would also check the patient's order history to make sure you're not getting more than you're entitled to.
Doctor shopping?
Yeah. Generally, it would be 56 grams of unprocessed cannabis products containing up to 10 grams of THC per 14-day period. I don't really know exactly what that means. You know, what that kind of an amount is. The state pharmacy would make sure the order arrives at the patient's local health department within 24 hours of the original request. So that's for people who live far away. The patient would pick up the medical cannabis at the health department after showing a government ID valid medical cannabis card.
I mean, I wonder how it would work. Like, it's hard for my dad to get around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would I be able to go
I doubt
pick it up for him?
Oh, not with all these restrictions that they've put up. They're making it harder and harder.
We don't know.
You know,
they're I'm sure
because if this is for sick people,
for things like that, there will have to be some sort of
like an official.
There has to be an
family member that.
Yeah. I would think there'd be accommodation. Tesla's billionaire CEO Elon Musk will pay for new water stations and water filtration for the entire Flint Community Schools District.
Nice.
On Thursday, the school district tweeted its effusive thanks to Elon Musk and the Musk Foundation, which the tech entrepreneur founded in 2002 with his brother Kimball Musk. The district serves more than 4,500 students. You're most welcome, Musk replied. Hope to do more in the future.
Please stop hating me.
In July, Musk tweeted several times about Flint, claiming that he would pay to fix contamination in Flint homes whose levels were above acceptable U.S. Food and Drug Administration standards. That led to another promise on the platform to call Flint Mayor Karen Weaver directly. Her office later confirmed that someone from Musk's office did reach out, so he's going to pay to fix the water.
Good.
And SpaceX successfully launched a satellite to space from Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara County Sunday, and then stuck the landing back in California.
Nice.
Which is pretty good. That's the first time they've done that. Previously, they have launched from Florida, and then they have been now successful of bringing it back and landing in the ocean, and landing it on a platform in the ocean. I think this is the first time they've landed it, brought it back and landed it successfully on land in California. The launch lit up the sky across San Diego, and apparently people saw it here in Utah as well. Ahead of the launch, officials issued warnings for residents about the possibility of sonic booms. Local residents may see the first stage of the Falcon 9 returning to Vandenberg, including multiple engine burns associated with the landing. During the landing attempts, residents from Santa Barbara, Ventura, and San Luis Obispo may hear one or more sonic booms. Musk said, "It's not going to be subtle. There may be a lot of noise." But it worked, so I think it's pretty amazing.
Sports weather traffic?
The Utes lost, or no, the Utes won, but RSL lost, so I had a wash of a weekend sports-wise. So did lots of people. Lots of people feel the same way I do about that. Weather, we're going to have a little bit of rain this morning, but that should taper off, and then we'll just be mostly cloudy and much cooler, 57 for a high today. Traffic eastbound and westbound New Bingham Highway are closed from 64th West to 70th West. Crash southbound I-15 at 10th North in Salt Lake, left shoulder being affected there. Crash northbound I-15 102nd South in Salt Lake. Let me check our message stream quickly. Somebody says, wreck southbound I-15 before the 6th North exit north of Salt Lake City. And free mattress, 45th South I-15, if you're in the market for a mattress. It's the news you trust from the most experienced team in Utah. 2 News. Check out the new KUTV.com.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Yay, not gonna die. Perhaps you spoke too soon. Yay, not going to die anytime soon. Richard Coda of Bonanza, Oregon, appears to have written those words on his Facebook page moments before fatally colliding head-on into another driver on a rural Oregon highway early Thursday evening. Mr. Coda's wife, Amanda, was also in the car at the time of the crash. Now both Amanda Coda and Klamath Falls resident Frederick French are being treated for injuries at 2 different Southern Oregon hospitals, and Richard Coda is dead. He was 37. The crash reportedly occurred along Highway 140. According to the Oregon Patrol crash investigators, the Codas were traveling east toward Klamath Falls. Richard, the driver, was reportedly passing other eastbound vehicles at a high rate of speed while in the westbound lane in the no passing zone, and apparently trying to write on Facebook on his phone at the same time.
This is a classic boner.
Yeah.
Yay. Classic.
Not gonna die. Spoke too soon, Mr. Coda. You spoke too soon. Boner candidate number 3.
All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1 was, well, we don't go to church that often in Houghton Conquest. Apparently you don't, because you didn't notice that thieves over a period of time stole 20 tons worth of your lead roof off of a very old, beautiful church in Houghton Conquest, Bedfordshire in England. Boner candidate number 2, his bringing me coffee was not an ordinary event, but an old woman's son-in-law brought her some coffee. Apparently it was laced with meth, nearly killed her. And boner candidate number 3, yay, we're not going to die. Well, perhaps you spoke too soon.
All right, this is round 2 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the most worthy, the most qualified to go forward to Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's got to defeat the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago. And we'll throw both of the winners into the Boner Dome at 9:20 for Boner Fight, and then you'll decide Boner of the Day at that time. So pick your champion for round 2. 1, 2, or 3. The candidate you think should win, put that number in the message of a text. That's all we need in the message is the number. All right? And you text that to 33986. Pretty easy. You can call 877-602-9696. Looks like Nick is taking votes in the producer's booth. And you can vote online if you'd like, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting October 8 and vote there. You've got less than 300 seconds. This is round 2. Let's go.
The music starts when Radio from Hell ends. A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts at 10 a.m. X96.
That's the sound. You know who's on the line? I believe this is the impetus tobacco, to the first all-day show.
Candace. Your organs. Candace?
Yes.
Your DNA. How now? You were there for the first all-day show. Oh, yeah.
I was, as Terry said, I was something from the radio guy, the idiot.
Off your life.
No, not so much. He didn't really.
The gift from the radio gods.
That was it. Yeah.
Get the tools.
But you,
I was the one that brought the alcohol.
You are the first. You were the one who started the tradition of bringing us booze.
We came to the gas station to talk about question 1
and passing gas.
A gasoline tax. Boys. For about $4 a month, you can help improve our education. It doesn't cost much at the pump.
And it goes straight to our classrooms.
It will help us and our teachers, not administrators or school
Bear.
buildings.
All thanks to passing
a gasoline tax.
Candy
so
Bear,
vote for
I'm not
question
sure
1
what-
on the ballot.
And put us
Did you say Candy Bear
Yeah.
or Daddy Bear?
Candy Bear.
Oh, that's cute.
You're
Better
my-
than Candy Ass.
You're my little candy bear.
Who is this?
Don't you know?
No, I don't know.
Who is this?
It's your mother.
I think
Hi.
Candy's been
Candy?
drinking today already.
Candy, hi, it's Mitt
No,
Candy, hi,
I
it's Mitt
haven't.
Romney.
Candace,
Ew.
do you have any idea what you're listening to or where you are?
It's a country station, and I'm in Texas. No, of course I do, you silly gooses. That
Candy,
was ridiculous.
Candy Bear.
Don't call me Candy, please. My dad hated that.
It's Candace.
It's Candace, Carrie.
Yes, it's Candace.
If
Bill,
your dad
and I
hated
will-
that, he shouldn't have named you Candace.
Yeah.
He's no longer living. That's rude.
Well, I'm sure his feelings are hurt.
Did you call us, Candace?
Yes, I did, and I meant to get abused.
Okay, because I thought maybe the interns had called you and then
No, nobody
just picked your name out of a phone book or something. Nobody
You
remembers.
wish.
Nobody remembers what, Candace?
Any of this.
And
I'm even on the CD. And I'm so sad.
She's the phone call. She's the reason.
For Carrie's
She's the reason that we
The
did because I
story.
didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
tell my Hawaii story.
No, it
or
was your Vegas.
My Vegas story.
Vegas
my
story,
Vegas
that's
story.
right.
Exactly.
And
Carrie, I saw you at that one clothing store. I don't remember.
You remember, Carrie?
was
Oh,
was I
yeah,
was I was I buying my garments?
It was that
Was
one
it that
clothing
one?
store.
That one
No.
clothing store?
I don't know what you call him. Come on, help me out. A thing.
You
a
know.
management,
A thing.
Whatever.
I can.
Was it a remote?
You know, I can see why you were the impetus for the all-day show because it takes all day to get anything out of
Holy
you.
crap! You've been doing this all day. I'm tired too, and yes, whatever.
She's
But
drunk.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm just embarrassed.
Candy Bear?
This is the note you want to go out on.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah,
Oh, Candace, you've been rickrolled. I'm sorry.
God bless you, Candace.
All right.
I'm glad that somehow you started the all-day show, but no, that's not the note we want to go out on.
Well, we got 20 minutes.
But as with all of our all-day shows, I seem to remember that they go out not with a bang but a whimper.
I've been whimpering for the last hour and 20 minutes.
They just kind of peter out at the end. So,
Well, Gina, I'm used to your whimpering.
It's what I do.
From Hell on Utah's original alternative X96.
All right, let's award round 2 of your boner voting.
And round 2 of the boner voting is brought to you in part by Pancakes for Buddha.
And Del Taco's new shredded beef, authentically seasoned and bursting with flavor. Right now you can get 2 shredded beef combo burritos for $6. Only at Del Taco, limited time only. Participation may vary.
Boner candidate number 1. We don't go to church that often in Alton Conquest. Thieves stole the 20-ton lead roof off of the lovely old church at Alton Conquest. How did they do that? We don't know exactly. It must have been done over a period of time. It's almost like a Monty Python sketch.
It is kind of.
Boner candidate number 2. Well, his bringing me the coffee was not an ordinary event. A man accused of putting meth in his mother-in-law's coffee. She was suspicious. She should have been suspicious because, as she herself said, he doesn't normally bring me coffee. And boner candidate number 3, yay, not gonna die. Perhaps you spoke too soon. A man posting the prophetic words, not gonna die, on his Facebook page moments before causing a fatal head-on collision that took his life. Garrett won the boner T-shirt.
All 3 candidates were good.
But number 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kind of.
It's the classic boner.
Not gonna die. Perhaps he spoke too soon.
All right.
It's like, hey, everybody, watch this.
No.
All right, that's your winner of round 2's voting. It now goes forward to boner fight. It'll face off against the winner of round 1's voting. One of those 2 candidates will be boner of the day. You will decide that at 9:20. Sponsored?
Always, Carrie, by Cabin Fever, the most wonderful time of the year at Cabin Fever. Creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky this October. Located in the heart of Trolley Square, 5th South, 7th East, downtown Salt Lake.
Thank you. There is a brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available now. Name of the episode is Click Click.
Okay.
You'll just have to tune in to find out
Click,
why.
click.
Click click. Let's see. So Venom. That's the big news right now.
It's number 1 at the box office.
80 million.
Okay.
Now to put that in perspective, that movie's weekend box office was bigger than the first Thor movie and the first Captain America movie.
Why would that be?
Jimmy's
odd.
theory is that this time of year it's not competing against much, other than A Star Is Born, which is really not the same audience.
Yeah.
Which did very well.
Did very well.
40 million.
Yeah. But with 80 mil on an opening weekend, Sony, they're declaring victory, and I'm sure, I don't have anything official, but I'm sure that they're going to move ahead with a sequel.
Yep.
I didn't hate it.
Were you thinking you would hate it?
I thought I would, because the reviews were just all so bad.
Yeah.
I went with 3 kids, my 2 nephews and my niece.
And how old are they?
Okay, so the 16-year-old, he's the oldest, and he just went, it's all right. Didn't do anything for him.
Okay.
The girl, she's 13. She loved it.
Really?
And then the youngest boy, he's 10. He said, it was okay.
Okay, so...
And I'm kind of the same way. It's got some tonal problems. It can't decide what it wants to be. And I think that they should go with the comedy parts, because that was working for me.
Is that the interior monologue stuff?
The interior monologue stuff. Then it becomes like a buddy cop comedy from the 80s.
Oh, all right.
You know, the 2 bickering people, except they're the same person.
Yeah.
They're Tom Hardy. And, once Venom shows up, it's a lot of fun. Takes a long time to get Venom to show up. I mean, he's got to come from space.
Yeah,
Space is far away.
And then we have to bring Eddie Brock to him. I'm the only person who is thinking this way. I think the reason I didn't find it as charming as everyone else did is that I don't know when Tom Hardy is doing comedy. He's a dramatic actor to me. And so I couldn't decide whether he was playing it seriously or if he was trying to play it for laughs.
Oh, I see what you're
saying. I was lost. And again, I'm the only person who feels that way.
He's kind of hard to read sometimes.
And he's hard to understand, too.
Sometimes.
There was a whole article I saw about how he mumbles his way through everything.
Now, he doesn't have his accent in this, right?
No, he does his
American
accent. So Jimmy gave it 2 stars. I'm in that camp. Again, I didn't hate it, and I look forward to seeing what they have coming up with it. Because
maybe they'll fix it.
There are 2 cut scenes at the end. Those teasers. The first one is probably the direction that they're going to take it, and if they go that direction, I will be very happy. And then if you stay till the end, it's just an extended look at the Spider-Man cartoon that's coming very soon called Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't stay for that because I've seen that. Jimmy stayed and he said, I shouldn't have, because I wished I was watching that movie.
Oh, it made you not like the one you just seen?
Now, a friend of ours was at New York Comic Con where they showed a half hour of that movie, and she said that it's a game changer. It's going to be huge. The Spider-Man cartoon.
And it's a
full-length cartoon in theaters coming up here very soon.
That's unusual.
All right, here's your assignments. Go to your. I know you don't work at work.
Nope.
So go to your computer, and you can watch 5 whole minutes of the Aquaman movie. Jeannie, you can do it.
Are you okay?
My parents were from different worlds. And I was a product of a love that never should have been.
I think the picture froze.
Worlds one day.
Sorry. But you can watch 5 whole minutes of the Aquaman movie. It's, the director says, I wanted it to feel more like a quest, like a fantasy movie. I wanted people to see just the visuals of the different worlds that they were getting themselves into. And like you're seeing something for the first time. And really, the 5 minutes is just, it's not a whole scene. It's just a whole bunch of stuff from the movie. And it kind of sets up, here's what you're in for. This is the world that they live in. Introduces Mira.
The mom? No. Mira's not the mom.
His girlfriend.
Amber Heard.
And she apparently has a lot to do in this movie, and she kicks ass.
Is she a fish?
She's
a fish lady?
She's from Atlantis. I don't think they have gills or anything. I don't know enough about. But anyway, go and watch it. There's a lot of great action, and it looks like he's playing it as a big dumb guy.
Well, that's kind of, we've already seen that in the other. You can't turn around and have him be a super smart guy in this.
And the most interesting thing about it is the final shot of that 5 minutes is, you know Aquaman's traditional uniform. His
yellow,
orange shirt with green pants.
Yeah, pretty bad.
And we haven't seen that.
Oh no, they do that
at the end of
Don't
the 5
do
minutes.
that.
Why?
It doesn't look bad.
You don't cover up Jason Momoa with orange spandex.
Now go and watch it, and you'll see.
Well, he can't go around shirtless all the time.
Sure he can.
It looked all right. The orange and green actually worked.
I don't know. I'll look at it.
All right, so there's your first assignment, 5 minutes of Aquaman. There's so many trailers that popped up over the weekend. We got another look at Star Trek Discovery Season 2 with Spock and Captain Pike.
Is a promise. I give my life for you, you give your life for me. And nobody gets left behind.
And we got premiere time. It's going to be in January is when Season 2 will show up. And let's see. So here's another one that you need to look for. You need to go and watch. This is a fun one. Deadly Class. Now, Deadly Class is a comic book based in the 80s. And it's just exactly what you think it is. It's Rick Remender and Wes Craig. And it's about a bunch of kids who are being taught to be assassins. And it takes place in the 80s.
Okay.
To young people watching, I have a very personal message for you. I've always thought of school as an environment in which you can be great. There's a big, wonderful world out there for you. It's exciting and stimulating.
You recognize that voice?
So my young
Nancy
friends
Reagan.
out there, just say no.
But this is on Sci-Fi, and I think that they're following in the footsteps of Happy. They're going to be doing a show that is going to be no holds barred. It's going to be violence and a lot of fun, I think.
This is insane. Did I just join a cult?
Just say no.
That starts in January on the Sci-Fi Channel, and again, I think it's going to be one of your new favorite shows. You got a Daredevil Season 2 closer look.
Talk to me about the ambush. This isn't the first time you've used lethal force.
This is where we introduce a longtime Daredevil villain, Bullseye.
I work for the federal government.
Colin Farrell?
FBI helped keep me on the straight and narrow.
It's a guy I don't recognize.
Was it Colin Farrell, Bullseye?
Drowning.
Yeah, he was in the Ben Affleck movie. Yeah.
Do it, Dex.
Society won't understand.
Do it, Dex. Do it, Dex.
But remember, at the end of The Defenders, everyone thinks that Daredevil is dead.
I've never seen a talent
I did
like yours.
So, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, gets this former FBI guy, Bullseye, who has a certain set of skills, to go around dressing up as Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
So that he can destroy Daredevil's good name.
Hello, Karen. I'm Daredevil.
Daredevil's being a dick.
Yeah, so that's what the Kingpin wants everyone to think.
God.
I'm out of time, but there is. Let's see. There's another. The first Good Omens trailer has been released, thanks to New York Comic Con. Go and watch the trailer for Night Flyers. It's on the Sci-Fi Channel. That looks like it's going to be fun. And it's a very short one. The First American Gods Season 2 trailer was released. And it's all thanks to New York Comic Con. All of these things are getting released. So there you go.
Let's see. We've got a crash eastbound US 6. That's about a mile east of US 89. Eastbound, westbound New Bingham Highway closed from 64th West to 70th West. Crash southbound I-15 10th North. And I'm going to check our message stream quickly. I don't see anything there, but you can always send us stuff via text 33986. Celebrate autumn at Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest. Escape for the whole weekend with the Oktoberfest getaway package, including lodging, daily breakfast, all-day activity pass. $116 per person per night. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
You know, it's getting kind of chilly. And
Yes.
it's going to be chilly all week. So it's that time of year if you wear glasses when you go from outside to inside and then your glasses fog up.
I hate that.
So, you know, if you get rid of your glasses, your contact lenses, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So call Hoops Vision. Get the laser eye procedure like Carrie has and I have. Dylan has done it, our family members. We've all gone to Hoops Vision, and I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Go in for your first appointment. It's free. And block some time out because it's the most thorough eye exam that you will ever have.
It's 877-30-LASIK is the phone number to call. Make your free, no-obligation appointment. And right now they're going to give you $800 off if you decide to go with your and get the LASIK eye procedure. And Hoops Vision, they are the world-class leader in vision correction. $800 off. Enjoy the beauty of fall. Don't get your glasses all fogged up. Get rid of them for good. Call 877-30-LASIK or go to Hoops Vision. That's HOOPES Vision.com.
X96 invites you to immerse yourself in FearCon.
I made a big mistake. Well, I didn't. It had to be done at some point. I haven't gotten on the scale, weighed myself, that is, since. So I had some back surgery to relieve some pressure on, excuse me, on the nerves in my back. And that has made it difficult for me to, well, it's made it impossible for me to do any exercise. And I exercise a lot, usually.
Uh-huh.
And then I went on vacation.
Well, sure.
And
you don't ever weigh yourself after vacation.
And you always put on a little weight on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lack of exercise for a month, and then going on vacation for however many days to Hawaii, which involved a lot of
pineapple, drinking,
a lot of
empty calories.
Empty calories. Thank you. That would you please? Damn it, Gina! Could you start with the euphemisms? Would you not zero right in on the problem? Start with the euphemisms. I mean, I say, oh, is Aunt Flo here? You know, I don't say, what, John the Rag, you having a period?
You're trying to be funny?
Start with the euphemisms, please.
Before the reality?
Yeah, don't let the reality just, don't smack me in the face with it, please. So, 10 pounds since the last time I weighed myself.
So in a month you've gained 10.
I think I'd have to look and see when that surgery was.
You don't look like you've gained 10 pounds.
Oh, I sure feel like it. And I don't? Really? No?
You look fine.
I think you always say that though. Because I don't know, why does she always say that? Because I don't think it's true.
I'm sorry, I was chasing down things that we have to take care of here. I'm, trying to fix the show. That's all.
She always says, you look fine. I think it's you say that either because you don't really look at me or at people. Because I look at you, and I wouldn't say that about you.
I didn't ask your opinion on how I look or how much weight I gained on my vacation.
I didn't ask yours either. You just offered it. I didn't ask your opinion.
Okay, I won't say you look fine. I start out saying something nice and I get in trouble for that.
I don't think I look. I think you can tell I've put on 10 pounds. Can't you, Carrie?
Gina, watch and learn. Really?
Can you tell that I put on 10 pounds?
You hide it well.
But you can tell, can't you?
No.
You can't?
No. I also don't look at you very closely.
I believe that.
It's true. I don't look at anybody very closely.
I know.
I keep my head down. I do my job. I get out.
I look at people too closely.
Yeah, would you quit looking at me so closely?
I'm sorry, how's your eye?
It's better.
Is it really? That's what you said. That's what you said when it wasn't.
But now it's just crusty, not puffy.
What did your husband say now that he's seen you? Did he, when he got home and looked at it, did he go, my God, why didn't you go to the doctor?
No, he's still saying it's fine, so it's fine. It's scabby.
I think that if you had FaceTimed him,
yeah,
he would have looked at it and went, "Oh God,
yeah,
Boots, get in there."
He was with me all weekend, and it was fine.
But so again, he doesn't look at you very closely. He just keeps his head down and does his job when he's with you.
Exactly.
Which I'm glad that he doesn't notice I've gained weight.
No,
so
he just keeps his head down and does his job. Real big.
Because they're here tomorrow night.
At the complex.
Always a good show. Always an entertaining, fun show.
Indeed. Oh, did you see that video I tweeted this morning, Carrie? I knew you would love that. One of the best things I've seen in a long time. If you go to my Twitter at RFHBill, and somebody send it to me, it's a bus driver in Bangalore who's letting a monkey help him drive the bus. That's really
monkeys.
Monkeys are always funny.
They're always funny.
Oh, speaking of that, did
Yes?
you see that Daryl Donovan?
Who's Daryl Donovan?
Pooch.
Oh, on Ray Donovan?
You didn't see this story?
No.
He was
The
arrested.
guy who plays Daryl?
Yeah, arrested for DUI for letting his 2-year-old drive because he was too drunk to drive.
Oh,
Daryl Donovan.
He was just being responsible.
2-year-old.
Yeah. Well, he was just being responsible.
Sorry, that's just the monkey driving reminded me of that. Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
The Ray Donovan show has not started yet, has it?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, a few
All right.
weeks.
Okay, hi, Dylan Allred, no relation to me.
No relation.
I say that for his protection.
Sure. I wasn't here Friday. Hope everything went well.
What? You weren't?
I attended a funeral for somebody I've never met in my life.
Why would you take off work to attend a funeral for someone you have
First
never
off,
met?
I don't need an excuse to take off work.
Okay.
Sometimes I do it for fun. No. So it was the funeral for the mother of a very, very close family friend.
Okay.
So I'm very close with the daughter.
But you'd never met her
But
mother.
I've never met the mother. They were, yeah. We don't need to go into
That's fine.
the personal details of that. But it was at the St. Joseph's Cathedral in Ogden.
Beautiful church.
Yeah, beautiful old church, and I'd never been in.
You've never been into St. Joe's?
Ogden boy, born and raised, never been in there.
Why is that, I wonder? Because I never took you, probably. I went to midnight mass there a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it was such an interesting thing to witness a whole official Catholic service and funeral.
It's different than a Mormon funeral.
Very different.
Way different.
And I kind of knew a little bit of it because I went to a private Lutheran school for a few years. So Lutherans is kind of Catholic light. You know, they're Catholic adjacent.
They're loosey-goosey Catholic.
Right. But my gosh. And there's, of course, the typical stuff. Well, you're up and down and up and down. And, but I sat
So it was
next
a whole
to.
mass.
It was a whole mass. Yep. They did the blood and body of Christ. They did incense where he swung it around. He flicked water on the casket.
Yep.
He there's all the call and responses that like I don't have enough memory to know that. I mean, he would come up and say something you'd expect a preacher to say, "God be with you," and then the whole congregation
and with your spirit.
Yeah.
They changed that.
Okay. See, and that's the one I was like, I know to say, and also with you.
No,
that
it's
was
now,
the Lutheran
now
thing.
it's now it's in with your spirit,
Right.
which I don't care for.
And they're even talking about changing it to back at you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, you know, they're trying not to be
Same
so
to you, but more of it.
Trying not to be so stodgy.
But it was a little bit embarrassing because I was there for my friend whose mother died, so I sat near her at the front row. So when it was time to stand or sit or kneel, I'd hear stuff happening behind me.
Oh, you couldn't watch.
And so I'd have to turn around and stare at the congregation, and they would kind of lead me as to what to do. It was a little embarrassing.
Well, what didn't she do it?
So
you're sitting next to her. I mean, couldn't you just
I think
what she did?
No, I think her mother was much more Catholic than she was.
And you don't. If you're a guest, you don't have to do the stand, sit down thing. I mean,
But I didn't want to stick out like a sore thumb. I didn't want to. You certainly want to stand when everybody stands.
Sure.
It would be disrespectful. Everybody's standing and you're still sitting
But
there.
you can cheat on the kneeling part. You can just sit on the kneeling.
Yeah.
You can cheat there.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You don't have to do any of it, though.
Well, I know. I wanted to sit in the back.
When you're at a service and people are praying, and if you don't believe in praying, you don't have to bow your head and close your eyes.
But I kind of, because I didn't know this person, I really went in as a social experiment, as an educational experience. So I tried to pay attention, and I tried to understand what he was talking about. And he was an excellent speaker, and it was just all very interesting.
Should you take a sacrament if you are not a member of a religion?
Nope, I didn't take.
No.
I didn't get up for the sacrament.
They
but you
would
can
say
do
no.
you can do the dead arms thing.
Yeah, and they'll pray you.
And they'll bless
they'll
you.
bless you.
And then some people had him put the body of Christ in their mouths, and
Yeah, I
some
don't
didn't.
do that. I do the hand thing.
Yeah, there seems like some sanitation issues.
And if
there.
you're really old school, you kneel.
Saw some people do that. Yeah, it was very interesting, and it kind of makes me want to. I don't
Be a
know.
Catholic?
No, but it makes me want to go to like other religions' funerals and see what the big differences are there.
You
But I
should
don't-
look them up in the paper.
Yeah, just show up at random people's.
You could.
I can tell you all about the Muslim funeral. Those are
that would be
whole
interesting.
different kind of.
I don't know any Muslims or any.
You can just look
Jewish
them up in the
people.
paper and go sit in the back. They don't mind.
Yeah, well,
And then
maybe
there's
that's what I'll
usually
do.
food at the end.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Sounds
Anyway.
like you've got a new hobby.
Yeah, this is my new thing, guys.
It'll be
no more,
funerals.
no more Oreos. I'm all about.
And that'll look great on your dating profile.
Yeah.
I go to
like to go to
strangers'
funerals.
Funeral
funerals.
Crasher. It'll be a movie. I'm going to write this script. Nobody write this script. All right. Thanks.
Get Hollywood on the phone. Tell them not to write a script. All right. We got news coming up. Stand by for that. Also, round one of your, not round one. What am I saying? Round one and round two. Winners. Boner
You've
of
been
the day.
rounding differently today.
Yeah, my head is not.
Here at X96, we're not going to pretend that we're the smartest people in the room. Hell Show on X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
Remember that info. You're going to need it. Coming up for Boner Fight. We'll have that for you in about 5 or so minutes. But first, a reasonable amount of news. Brought to you by?
Go to Hale, Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air for $49 furnace tune-up, which includes a 19-point safety inspection. Scott Hale, amazingly different, surprisingly better. ScottHale.com.
Oh, damn. There we go. Nope.
You looking forward to that Drake concert that was canceled and rescheduled? Well, I'm terribly sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Well, it's better it's you. You're a friendly voice.
It's been canceled again. And I know so many of you that listen to us were planning on the Drake being here.
I don't think they were.
Okay, and then I'll move on.
I just know. Here, back to Drake.
Yes.
Is it in the lobby of our radio station?
Yes.
There's a big screen,
Uh-huh.
and on that screen flashes the different radio stations that are in the building, and our hip hop station flashes on there, and they have pictures of like Rihanna, and then there's a picture of Drake, and he never smiles.
He looks so sad.
He looks so sad.
He knows he's going to disappoint Salt Lake at some point.
So sad. Anyway, sorry.
Scott Wilson, who appeared in nearly 40 episodes of The Walking Dead as Herschel Green, died Saturday of complications from leukemia.
No, he died. He died a couple seasons ago. Remember the
his head cut
governor?
off.
Governor cut his head off.
That's pretty funny when you think he really died on the show.
He died.
Gina.
I mourned him.
That's pretty funny because
I mourned him then.
He's finally on a farm for reals.
The actor's death was confirmed by the AMC series because apparently he didn't have a family. The network remembered Wilson in a statement saying he was a great actor and an even better person. The character he embodied on The Walking Dead, Herschel, lived at the emotional core of the show. Like Scott in our lives, Herschel was a character whose actions continue to inform our character's choices to this day. Our hearts go out to his wife, family, friends, and to the millions of fans who loved him. Scott will be missed, and lest you think he was really had his head cut off by the governor, it's not true. He was a real person who died of leukemia.
He was here for Comic-Con, one of them, a while back, and all the people that interacted with him said he was a real great guy.
How'd he get around with the one leg?
The statement goes on to say he didn't really lose his leg. That was just
the show.
That was just part of the show. Much like every other famous creator who has ever died, it sounds like George Romero left behind a vast archive of unreleased work that people who control his state are now looking to capitalize on. Speaking with comicbook.com, George Romero's wife, Suzanne Desrochers Romero, revealed that he had left nearly 50 scripts when he died, any one of which could be developed into films, she hopes.
Somebody buy these, please.
Dan Clowes is currently rewriting The Living Dead, a novel that Romero had been writing before his death. And Desrochers Romero says that a movie he had been working on called Road of the Dead is still happening, though it sputtered recently. Romero was a prolific writer. He loved to write, his wife says, and we have 40 to 50 scripts that he's written, and a lot of it is very good.
Especially this one, Deli of the Living Dead. That was great. Also, Auto Mechanic of the Living Dead.
Scary.
He wrote that one. Living Dead Amusement Park. I'm sure they're
on
all,
and on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We're running out of sperm.
Who's we?
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a sperm shortage. A new study shows that male infertility is skyrocketing, with the amount of men seeking treatment going up 7-fold, and the quality of semen dropping dramatically over the last 15 years. This is a public health concern, said Dr.
Children of Men
Ashley
starting?
Teagues.
Yeah, it's Children of Men. I saw that movie.
A local researcher, they've been doing a seed study.
Seed study.
She spoke to the Daily Mail over the weekend about the results, which are set to be presented today. Her team analyzed samples from fertility centers in the United States and Spain.
I bet they have more sperm in Spain.
Total motile sperm count has shown to be more productive of outcomes for pregnancy. It has also been correlated with embryo development. Teague's team found that the number of men seeking treatment increased from 8,000 to 60,000 between 2002 and 2017. But sperm counts also dropped. Let's see, are Spaniards more fertile? Doesn't say.
I bet.
It doesn't say. You'd like to think, wouldn't you? I know how you are. I know how you are. And just quickly, did you hear what Banksy did?
Yes.
I like this.
Hilarious.
He sold a painting.
He didn't sell it. It was a
the
painting
auction
somebody
house.
else owned.
It was put up for auction from Sotheby's, about $1.1 million, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up for auction, and it was in a girl with a balloon, and it was in a frame. And then all of a sudden, the picture started to move, and the bottom of the painting, the frame was a paper shredder.
So
it shredded it started to move down, and it shredded the picture.
So they said sold for
$1 million, whatever.
And as soon as that happened,
there was a battery, I guess a battery inside the frame somewhere, and it activated, and there was a shredder in the frame, and it shredded it as it was sold.
which I think it's more valuable now. That's the painting that happened to. It's
pretty bizarre.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, here we go. The winner from round one going up against the winner from round two. Round one happened way back in the 7 o'clock hour. Was I here?
I think so.
Okay. Because I barely remember this. The one that was political speech is not entirely free in Texas. So this woman had a sign, a political sign in her front yard in Texas, a little town in Texas. It showed a GOP elephant with its trunk up a woman's skirt. Now, she just copied a political cartoon that a woman had done for, was it the Washington Post? I don't remember who did it originally. But
not one in Texas.
No. It was it was a story by the Washington Post. Anyway, so her opponent said, you know what that is? That's supposed to be Mark Kavanaugh's little girl. That's awful. And the police came and confiscated the sign. It's going up against the winner from round two in the 8 o'clock hour. This one I remember vividly. Yay, not gonna die. Oh, perhaps you spoke too soon. This is a man who posted the prophetic words, I'm not gonna die, on Facebook moments before he caused a fatal head-on collision that took his life.
All right, you've got to decide of these two candidates, which one is the worst, which one deserves to be Boner of the Day. You decide. 1 or 2, remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win, put that number in the message of a text. That's all we need in the message, it's just that number. You text that number to 33986. All right? You can call 877-602-9696, talk to Autumn. She is taking your votes in the producer's booth. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Fight October 8 and vote there. 300 seconds. Boner of the Day. Let's go.
John Smith.
Well, here I am at 12,887 feet, Tengoshe. The Tengoshe Monastery is here, and 5.5 hours on the road to Tengoshe today. The first part of the walk, I'd say the first 3.5 hours, fairly nice, fairly leisurely. We left Namche, and it was just kind of gentle up and down. And then we crossed the river, what's the name of the river again? Dudakosi River. We crossed the river and had some lunch and then started up. And it was, I'm telling you, it was 2 hours, 2.5 hours, up, unrelenting, up to 12,800 and some odd feet. So it's not a walk in the park. Well, it is a walk in the park. This is the Sagarmatha National Park. Sagarmatha is the name of Everest in Nepali. So anyway, I'm on the trail, and I saw my first yak today. You don't see yak down low. As a matter of fact, if the yak go, I guess, below about 12,000 feet, they will die. They can't go down to where we started. Conversely, there are buffalo down below and cows down below, and they can't come up high, or they will die. And there's a great story about the buffalo and the yak. The yak apparently there's no salt in Nepal, and so the yak decided that they would go to Tibet and find salt for the people of Nepal. And when they got to Tibet was so beautiful, they decided they would just stay. And so the cows, and you'll see the cows and the buffalo always looking up, and they're always looking up wondering when the yak are going to bring the salt back. Did that make sense? Anyway, we passed places that were offering fresh yak cheese. I didn't try it. But I will, and yak milk soon to come. Coming up in just a minute, I'm going to talk more about the trek up here and about the rhododendron forest. We'll talk about that coming up.
Trusted newsman on X96, Radio from Hell.
All right, time to award Boner of the Day.
And the Boner of the Day is brought to you in part by...
No, completely by.
Okay, fajitas.
Okay, fajitas. Were they just okay fajitas?
They were not good. I made them and they weren't good.
I'm going to open a place called Okay Fajitas.
Okay Fajitas. Come on in for just okay fajitas. So we had Boner candidate number 1. Political speech is definitely, or is not entirely free in Texas. Police removing a political Texas yard sign showing a GOP elephant with its trunk up a woman's skirt. Going up against, yay, not gonna die. Whoop, perhaps you spoke too soon. A man posting those prophetic words to Facebook moments before causing a fatal head-on collision that would in fact take his life. And the winner was in fact number 2. Yay, not gonna die. Perhaps you spoke too soon.
All right. That is the Boner of the Day for October 8, 2018. It is now qualified to be Boner of the Week. That'll happen Friday at about this time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a list.
My list isn't that good.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested in your list.
You are?
Well, it's beauty tips.
I'm more interested in your list.
Well, see,
just give me a beauty tip.
Okay, let me go here.
I'm always looking for beauty tips.
Well, as I looked at them, it's 8 biggest beauty trends from Fashion Month. But then I looked, baby bangs,
No.
Skillful braids, no.
No.
Head radical eyeliner,
No,
twiggy lashes,
no.
nothing but red lips, and sparkly eyes of all kinds.
Nope.
Nope, no good.
Yeah.
Well, I have. I mean, it's people love lists.
Mm-hmm.
You love a good list.
This is 20 things you're doing that your neighbors hate.
Okay, let's see if I'm doing any of these.
I'm probably doing none of them.
Number 1 is talking loudly in your yard.
Nope.
Like on your phone.
Yeah. I don't do that.
No.
Now,
Now,
do you ever? Are you ever on your phone and you go outside to have the loud conversation?
No.
You're like, I'm going to go outside and have
Now,
this.
I have
No?
been known to get in violent arguments with my son, which I know the neighbors can hear.
Carrie, no, this could be you.
Let's see.
Smoke from your grill.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what you do about it, but
There is smoke from my grill as well, but my neighbors don't hate
but it says when people have their windows open and you're grilling.
I did on Saturday.
Did you make a brisket? What'd you make?
We did Korean barbecue.
Letting your dog bark.
I work like crazy to make sure that they don't, but they still occasionally do.
I am guilty of letting my cat meow.
It's hard sometimes with your dogs because you can't completely control that they're barking, and you always feel bad when you let them out like late at night or early in the morning, and they start. You feel bad, but you can't like immediately make them be quiet.
Yeah, okay, we're tired of your excuses for this.
I control it. I really do. It's never more than 15 seconds. It's not like the guy next door to me who leaves his dog in the backyard and the dog starts
You're
howling.
fine, Carrie. You're fine. I don't want her excuses.
Now, some of these are like if you live in an apartment building or filling all the shared trash cans. So you have like a big dumpster, somebody fills them up. Feeding stray cats. Neighbors don't like it when you feed stray cats because then
I like it when the neighbors feed my cats.
When they think they're stray cats. I mean, obviously throwing loud parties.
Yeah.
Your kids in their yard.
No, doesn't happen.
No problem.
Your dog in their yard.
No.
Not a problem.
Mowing your lawn early in the morning.
No.
My neighbor does that, and I think that there should be on weekends no sooner than 10 a.m.
I agree. Or letting your Harley idle in your driveway.
Yeah,
at
somebody
8 a.m.
in the backyard of my place does that.
I know you guys don't do this, but you either have that Nextdoor app or a neighborhood face group.
Yeah.
People that are insulting on those.
I dumped that app partially because of that.
There is. I'm on one of those. Well, Sue monitors that for me. And
I just like to know what's going on. I don't participate in it. I just sort of stalk in the background.
It's funny how many suspicious people, you know.
Yeah,
I saw a guy in a hoodie.
I thought it was horrible. I quit doing it.
Yeah.
Asking to use their Wi-Fi.
No.
Can I have your Wi-Fi pass? No.
I don't do any of this so far.
Yeah.
Bill, you've probably been the victim of this. People parking in front of your driveway or
constantly.
Bad yard art.
Not a problem with mine.
No.
But does anyone in your neighborhood have like the...
My neighbor across the street usually goes all in on Halloween decorations.
Well, that's different.
But that's
though.
different. Yeah.
I meant like,
No.
None of them.
The cowboy leaning on the...
None of them do that.
That's okay with me, though. I don't.
You don't mind bad yard art?
Nope.
Ugly house paint? Neither of you.
Nope.
When packages stack up at your door, they always want to know, what'd you get?
No.
What's
in
the package? Letting kids be too loud upstairs. That's if you're in an apartment. Dog barking or kid too.
No.
And finally, too many yard sales.
No.
Shouldn't you just have one yard sale?
A year?
A year?
What? I don't know.
Oh, wait, here's one more. You never say hello.
Yeah, that's me.
You never say, be friendly with your neighbor. Say hello.
We have a little a problem with. We share a driveway. That can be a problem sometimes, but you just deal with it. You just say, "That's okay. Could you move?" Sometimes it's difficult, but it's all right.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
Our houses are so close together, and we have that shared driveway. I remember when we first moved in there, we went over next door to introduce ourselves. And we're very close together, and it was nice to meet you. And I guess we'll be seeing a lot of each other. And the husband said, "Yeah, that's true. We don't have to be best friends or anything,
Don't.
And I said, "Oh, well,
I
you're
know.
right. You're absolutely right.
I know
Nice
how you
to meet
feel now.
Yep.
You can recommend to your neighbors a good heating and air people.
Yeah, if your furnace.
I was just talking to my husband last night about how it's not quite cold enough to turn the furnace on, which is reminding me I should call them before it is cold enough to
Call who?
Scott Hale.
Scott Hale, Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Yeah.
Scott Hale, have them come up and look at your furnace. Just make sure everything's working right. They'll do a system tune-up and just check over everything, make sure the belts are good, the components are good, for only $49. If the bad air in the valley affects you, taking control of the humidity level in your home can improve your comfort, as well as reduce the effects and symptoms if you have allergies or asthma or things like that. So think about getting a humidifier for your home.
I have one. I love it.
Yeah. So your skin will feel better. You'll breathe better if you have a humidifier. And Scott Hale can put one of those in. So 801-264-HALE. That's 801-264-HALE, or go to scotthale.com.
Hey, party people, I'm John Smith, and I have for you every single day.
X96.
All right, 9:51 right now.
I don't know I went to the Fear Factory on Saturday night. That place is really amazing. Just the layout.
It's an old factory.
The old cement factory down on.
I get scared just driving by it on I-15. Ah!
And it was a perfect night. It was overcast, but not cold, and just spooky. And you go in there, and it's just beautifully laid out, just amazing. And I'm a little prejudiced about it, I guess, because my son works there, and he's in charge of this one area, the clown area, the 3D clown area.
Mm-hmm.
So you come to this part where you put on the 3D glasses. Somebody hands you these glasses, and you go, and it's amazing. It is
coming
really,
right at you.
Yeah, and it's it's all the crazy colors, and they've got a spinning barrel that made me sick. And he's in there just being like the impresario of this crazed 3D clown funhouse.
So does he have like a scripted thing that he does? Like every 10 minutes he rotates through.
No,
something he does like
he kind of. So what he does is he likes to be out front. To when before the show starts officially, when people are just lining up, and he'll do various things out front. Like Saturday night when we were there, they have this costume that it's this giant mechanical monster that he was inside of, this big puppet, huge thing, and you wouldn't know it was him except he came up and went, and I said, "That's my boy in there. I know it is." And he'll do that for a little while and then get out of that and go in. And usually he's just in the clown area. But there's so much going on in there. It's amazing. I don't know how they
keep track of it all.
Yeah, it's a huge area to fill as well. Just so many.
How long did it take you to go through it?
I think probably about 40 minutes. And there's one thing that I've never seen before. They do this, I don't know how, so they have this kind of layer of fog. It's hard to describe. So, and it's about waist level, and it's just like a flat plane of fog. And there are these laser lights around it, and you can't see underneath it. And then things will just people will come popping up out of it.
That's creepy.
It's weird. So they're completely concealed under this layer of fog, and they're just people crouching down under this fog that you're walking through.
That's scary.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm not quite sure the technical way they do that, but it's.
Utah loves Halloween so much. Is there another state that loves Halloween as much as Utah?
I think so. There are states where it's. I
know
it is more popular than others.
I know Southern California.
I was going to say they do.
They do a lot down there, but
they have that big convention in St. Louis every year. I think St. Louis area in Missouri. I think they're really big into it. There are, but Utah, yeah. I don't know how many haunted houses there are in Utah, but.
Per capita.
How many major ones are there just right here along the Wasatch Front? There's at least 8.
I think, yeah.
Pretty substantial.
And if you're counting like corn mazes, I'd count those as well.
And the season, people go, they plan it and they go to all of them.
Yeah. Just amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we got the promo for tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, let me find it. Okay.
On Tuesday's Radio from Hell show
at 6:45, call in and participate in our X poll. We want to know about the coolest thing you've ever found.
Whether it was in the walls of your house or buried in the backyard or just on the street. What's the most amazing item you've ever stumbled upon?
Call in at 6:45 or comment on our Facebook post. It's all on Tuesday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
All right. So good enough? We got any business that we need to
No.
take care of?
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes.
I'm sorry we didn't warn you, by the way, on Friday that the liquor stores are closed today.
They are?
Oh, they are.
Damn it.
Yes, they are.
Well, luckily, I'm well stocked. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Spanish sperm.
Same to you, but more of it.
Everything today, that was... John Smith is next.
Kicking off nothing but great tunes for 60 minutes. A 1-hour nonstop music wingding is on.